present Tom Courtenay in Moscow Stations, dramatised by Stephen Mulrine, from the novel Moscow Petushki by Benedict Yerofeev.
Everybody says the Kremlin. They all go on about it. But I've never seen it myself. The number of times I've been drunk or hungover, traipsing round Moscow from one end to the other, and I've never once seen the Kremlin. For instance, yesterday I didn't see it again. It's not that I was particularly drunk. I mean, as soon as I came out onto Savyolov station, I had a glass of Zubrovka for starters. Of course, I know from experience this is an early morning tipple. Nobody's so far dreamed up anything better. Anyway, a glass of Zubrovka. Then after that, on Kalievsky Street, another glass, only not Zubrovka this time, but coriander vodka. A friend of mine used to say coriander had a dehumanizing effect. Yes. So that's why I topped it up with 2 glasses of Zhiguli beer, plus some eggnog out the bottle in the middle of Kalievsky Street. Of course, you're saying, go on, Venya, go on. What did you have next? And I don't know myself exactly what I was drinking. I remember I had 2 glasses of Hunter's vodka on Chekhov Street. But I couldn't have made it across the ring road with nothing to drink. I couldn't. So I must have had something else. Anyway, after that, I dragged myself into the center. Because whenever I'm looking for the Kremlin, I invariably fetch up at Kursk station. 2 or 3 times I had to stop to keep the nausea down. A man doesn't only have a physical side. He's also got a spiritual side. And beyond that, there's a sort of mystical side. And here's me, in the middle of the square, about to be sick any minute from all 3 sides. And I'm so annoyed now, I could almost cry. And it's not because I woke up this morning in some godforsaken entry. No, what's bugging me is this. I've just worked it out, that from Chekhov Street up to that entry, I drunk more than 6 rubles worth. But of what? And where? And did drinking it do me any good? Nobody knows. And now nobody'll ever know. I mean, to this day, we don't know whether Tsar Boris killed the Tsarevich Dmitri or the other way round. Anyway, when I came out into the fresh air, it was already dawn. And if you've ever fetched up unconscious in some entry and emerged from it at dawn, well, you'll know what a heavy heart I bore down the 40 steps of that godforsaken place. Still, what the hell, I told myself. Wrap up against the wind and go quietly. And breathe only when you've got to. Breathe so your feet don't graze the back of your knees. Oh, vanity of vanities. Oh, transience. Oh, that most impotent, shameful time in the life of my people. The hours between dawn and opening time. I'd better find a pillar to lean against and shut my eyes tight so I won't feel so sick.
That's right, Venya, pet. Just you shut your eyes tight and you won't feel so sick.
I know those voices. It's them again. The angels of the Lord. Is it you? Oh, angels, angels, do you know something? I feel terrible.
That's right, we know you do. But it'll be opening time in half an hour. Of course, there'll be no vodka till 9. But tell you what, why not try the station buffet?
Yes, I'll do that. I'll try them right now. Thank you, angels.
Your good health, Venya. Feel free.
Attention, attention. The train now about to leave from platform 4 is the 016 to Petushki, calling at Hammer, Kola, Rayova, Kuchina, Nazarieva.
Yes, that was really nice of them. And it's just as well I bought the presents yesterday. I mean, no way you can go to Petushki without the walnuts and the sweets. You just can't do that. Actually, it was the angels reminded me about the presents, because the people they were bought for remind me of angels. Yes. And now, of course, you'll start firing questions at me. So you're on your way down from the buffet, Vanya, right? Your little suitcase is heavy now, isn't it? And there's a song in your heart, isn't that true? So what did you buy, Vanya, for God's sakes? Tell us, we're dying to know. Right then, hang on. Can I just check? Okay, there's 2 bottles of Kuban vodka at 2 rubles 62 apiece. That's 5 rubles 24 altogether. Then there's 2 quarter liters of Rossiyskaya at a ruble 64. That's 5.24 plus 3.28, 8 rubles 52 kopecks. And some sort of red. Oh, yes, a fortified rosé at a ruble 37. Right, you're saying. But what's it come to altogether? I mean, this is fantastically interesting. Okay, just wait a sec, and I'll give you the total. Right, the sum total is 9 rubles, 89 kopecks. I mean, I had to buy a couple of sandwiches so as not to throw up. Oh, Venya, that's complicated. That's so refined. And is that it? Is that all you need to be happy, eh? Nothing else? What do you mean? Nothing else?
Good morning, citizen passengers. This is the 0816 train for Petushki station, calling at Hammer and Sickle, Kuskova, Ryutova, Kuchina, Nazarieva, Dresna, Ariechova, Krutoya, Voinova, Usad, and Pokrov. This train does not stop at Yesina.
O Lord, you see before you everything I possess. But is this really what my soul hungers for? No. This is what people have given me instead. And if they'd given me what my soul hungers for, would I have needed this? You see, Lord, have a look. Fortified rosé at a ruble 37. And the Lord, wreathed in blue lightning, answered, So what did St. Teresa need with her stigmata, then? They weren't what she needed, they were what she desired. Okay, then, I thought to myself, if this is what you desire, go ahead and drink it. But I hung on a bit. Was the Lord going to say anything more? The Lord was silent. Fair enough. I took a quarter litre and went out to the corridor. Fine. My spirit's been languishing in jail for the past 4.5 hours. Now I let it out for walkies. I had a good drink. Yes, with my eyes shut, holding back the nausea, effing and blinding, praying to God to have mercy on me. 1 minute the glass I'd drunk lay smoking somewhere between my belly and my gut. The next minute it was shooting up and falling back down again. It was like Vesuvius, like the May Day salute in my country's capital. And I suffered and prayed.
Hammer and Sickle station, next stop, Kuskova.
At last, at Hammer and Sickle, the Lord heard my prayer, and peace was restored. I smoothed my hair down a bit and went back into the carriage. The passengers looked at me almost apathetically, with their round, vacant eyes. I like that. I like the way the people in our country have such vacant, bulging eyes. At a time of whatever torment and misery, eyes like that don't even blink. Yes, I'm glad I was born here and grew to manhood under the gaze of those eyes. Of course, you think I'm no good. Actually, when I'm hungover in the mornings, I'm of the same opinion. Rotten mornings and terrific nights are a sure sign of a bad person. Now, the other way round. If a person's bright and cheerful in the mornings, then sinks into lethargy at night, well, a person like that's just garbage, totally mediocre, a pain in the arse, frankly. And the trouble with me is, I'm too refined. Yes, that's been my downfall many a time. I'll give you just one example, because it's the freshest in my mind, about how I lost my brigade leader's job a week ago because of, quote, introducing a corrupt system of individual performance graphs, unquote. Yes, indeed. Hold on. Where are we now? Kuskova. We're grinding through Kuskova without stopping. In honor of the occasion, I ought to have another drink, but I'd better tell you this from the beginning. Then I will go and have another drink. Anyway, It was a week ago they fired me from the brigade leader's job. 5 weeks after they appointed me. You know yourself, you can't make radical changes in 4 weeks. And they didn't give me the bullet for radical changes. Actually, our production schedule looked like this. From the morning on, we'd sit and play three-card brag for money. Then we'd get up, unroll a drum of cable and lay it underground. After that, we'd kill time, each in his own way. One would be drinking vermouth, another, slightly more basic, freshness eau de cologne, and the ones with a bit of class would be on the cognac at Sheremetyevo Airport. Then we'd go to sleep. And the next morning, we'd whip yesterday's cable back up out of the ground and chuck it away because it had got all wet naturally. And after that, shit, what the hell. We'd sit down and play brag again. Anyway, for a time, everything went like clockwork. We'd send off our socialist pledges once a month, and they'd send us our money. Oh, halcyon days. Oh, birds of heaven that store not up in granaries. Oh, lilies of the field, arrayed more splendidly than Solomon. Yes, we drank up all the freshness between Dolgoprudnaya Station and Sheremetyevo International. Well, anyway, that was when I worked up my notorious individual graphs, on account of which they eventually sacked me. There's really nothing to it. You draw up 2 axes, and on the horizontal you set out all the working days. On the vertical, the quantity of booze consumed at work, estimated in grams of pure alcohol. Boozing after work is, of course, well, more or less a constant. So at the end of the month, each worker comes to me with his report. So many grams on this day, so many grams on that day. Like, for instance, the chart of one Viktor Totoshkin, Komsomol member. I mean, even on the most superficial inspection, it was the Himalayas. The Austrian Tyrol, the back of oil derricks, the top of the Kremlin wall, which I've never seen, incidentally. Then there was Alexei Blinjayev, Communist Party member since 1936 and shagged-out old creep. His was a breeze on the river Karma just before dawn, all gentle splashes and dazzling ripples. And as for your humble servant, ex-brigade leader of the PTS riggers and author of the epic Moscow to Petushki, well, what else but the beating of a proud heart, the song of the stormy petrel, the 9th wave, yes, and all this from a mere outline. Anyway, to the seeker after truth, like myself, for example, those lines said it all about man and the human heart. Not for long, however. One unhappy day, all the graphs vanished from my table. Yes, that old fart, Alexei Blinjayev, Communist Party member since 1936, was posting off our new socialist pledges to head office, and whether from stupidity or drink, he put my individual graphs into the same envelope.
Ryutova station. Next stop, Kuchina.
Well, 15 minutes later, it was all over. My crucifixion took place exactly 30 days after my ascension. In short, they gave me the bullet. And now I'm so fucked up by all that mindless garbage that I haven't had a dry day since. Fair enough. I can't say that I've been dry too often before that, but at least I could remember what I'd drunk and in what order. Yes, that day, my heart fought against my reason for a whole half hour. Like in the tragedies of Corneille, you know? Duty wrestles with the promptings of the heart. My heart kept telling me, you've been hurt. You've been treated like shit. Go on, Vanya. Go and get pissed out of your skull. That's what my beautiful heart was telling me. And my reason? It kept whinging relentlessly. Don't do it, Yerofeev. Don't you dare touch a single drop. Anyway, by the 6th day, I was so pissed that the line dividing heart and reason had disappeared altogether. And they were both clamoring, go to Petushki, go to Petushki. That's where your happiness and salvation lie. Go to Petushki. Petushki is where the birds are never silent, day or night, where the jasmine never fails, winter or summer. And there, every Friday at exactly 11 o'clock, that girl of mine, that flaxen-haired she-devil, meets me on the station platform. And it's Friday today, and she'll be there, and the station platform will be there, And after the platform, strong vodka and port, sheer bliss and contortions, ecstasies and orgasms. Oh, Mother of God, how far away is Petushki still? Yes. And there beyond Petushki, where the she-wolf howls at the stars, there in a smoky, louse-ridden mansion, unbeknownst to the flaxen-haired one, blossoms my little boy. The chubbiest and best-behaved infant of them all. He can point to the letter Y, and he waits for me to give him walnuts.
Kuchina Station. Next stop, Nazareva. This train does not stop at yet.
Pray for me, angels, do you hear? Pray for me. And meanwhile, if you'll excuse me, keep an eye on my little case while I nip out for a drink of Kuban vodka so I don't go off the boil. And this time I drank straight from the bottle, tossing my head back like a concert pianist. Hey, hold on. That was last Friday. She wouldn't let me go to him last Friday. I got sidetracked in her white belly, as round as the earth and sky. But I will reach him today, if fate doesn't strike me down. Well, maybe not today. Today I'll be with her. You know, they're really charming creatures, these angels. But what do they mean, poor little boy? He's not poor, no way. Well, okay. I've got to see her first. Yes, to see her on the platform, to catch fire and get flat out drunk and graze among the lilies till I'm dead of exhaustion. That's how it was on the first day. Exactly 12 weeks ago with the birds and the jasmine in Petushki. It was somebody or other's birthday party, a bottomless well of all kinds of drink. Could have been 10, 12, 25 bottles. And when I came to, it was just the two of us. And she was laughing at me like some kind of good-natured baby. And I thought to myself, fantastic. Here's a woman whose breast until today has been gripped by nothing but premonitions. This is a woman who, up until I arrived, hasn't even had her pulse felt. And she promptly downed 100 grams of vodka, drank it standing up too, tossing her head back like a pianist. Then she uncoiled herself like a whore and started swaying her hips so gracefully that I couldn't look at her without trembling. I was overcome by desire, waiting for sin, panting. God damn it, I'm at a loss at any given moment. I never know how to handle an inebriated woman. I've always been in two minds about them. On the one hand, like Karl Marx, I love women for their weakness. For instance, they've got to sit down to pee. And I've always liked that. That's always filled me with them. Well, what the hell? A sort of warm feeling. But on the other hand, they did shoot at Lenin, with a revolver, no less. I mean, fair enough sitting down to pee, but shooting at Lenin. However, I digress. So, the iron fist or the velvet glove? Actually, she made up my mind for me, leaning back and stroking my cheek with her ankle. It was a sort of gesture of encouragement, but also a gentle box on the ear, and something like a fairy's kiss besides. And then, oh, her belly, like earth and sky. The minute I saw that, I began to sob almost from inspiration. Everything merged into one. Roses, lilies, and among the little curls, the moist, quivering entrance to Eden. Oblivion. I remember saying to her one Friday, when I was all lit up with Zubrovka, "Hey, let's spend the rest of our lives together. I'll carry you off to Lobnya. I'll drape you in purple silk. I'll make a bit on the side doing telephone boxes, and you can sniff things. Lilies, say. You can sniff them. Come on, let's go. But she said nothing. She just gave me the V sign. For God's sake, why not, I said. Tell me. And she suddenly burst into tears and fell on my neck. You bloody idiot, she said. You know why not. You know damn well, you dumb bastard. And since then it's been the same every Friday. The same tears, the same V signs. But today, well, something will be decided today, because this Friday is the 13th in a row. And Holy Mother of God, we're getting nearer to Petushki every minute.
Yesena station. This train does not stop at Yesena. The next stop is Nazareva.
Yes, I've got to live. That's what. I mean, just imagine how many mysteries there are in the world. How many unfathomed secrets. Like, for example, hiccups. Yes, why not? One of my half-witted compatriots, Soloukin, advises people to go gathering mushrooms in the woods. Well, you tell him where to stick his mushrooms. You'd do far better studying the hiccup. Dear God Almighty, I hear on all sides. Surely there's more to life than that. There must be, but there isn't. That's just my point. There really isn't. So, let us consider the hiccup. Undertake research on the drunken hiccup in its mathematical aspects. Of course, to commence our study of hiccups, we must first call them forth. Either an sich, in the terminology of Immanuel Kant, which means from ourselves, or else from some other person, but for our own purposes, which is für sich, as Kant terms it. Actually, the best of the lot is both an sich and für sich. And here's how it's done. Drink some sort of strong vodka, Starker or Hunter's vodka, say, for 2 hours non-stop. You can allow yourself a bite to eat, but something really unpretentious. Bread that's seen better days, or sprats in tomato sauce. Then, just let your muscles go limp, and don't strain. And if you've got all your wits about you, you write down at what intervals your hiccup deigns to visit you. In seconds, of course. 8, 13, 7, 3, 18. Naturally, you'll try to establish some sort of periodicity here to predict the length of the next interval. Try, by all means. Feel free. 17, 3, 4, 17, 1, 20, 3, 4, 7, 18. Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels made a thorough study of changes in social structures, and on that basis they were able to predict a whole heap of stuff. But they'd have been completely foxed by this one. I mean, 13, 15, 4, 12, 4, 5, 28. And isn't this how catastrophes line up for the human race? In random order. Yes, the law is above us all, and hiccups are above any kind of law. And just as their commencements took us by surprise, so also will their ending, an ending which, like death, we can neither foretell nor prevent. 22, 14, stop, and silence. And in that silence, your heart will say to you, they are unfathomable, and we're at the disposal of a fate which is nameless, and from which there is no salvation. Therefore, be perfect, as your Father in heaven is perfect, i.e., drink more and eat less. That's the best remedy for self-doubt and facile atheism. I mean, just look at a hiccuping atheist, grim-faced, unable to concentrate. Then watch me as I hiccup, trusting in divine providence. God is good, yes. He's leading me out of suffering towards the light, from Moscow to Petushki, from the torments of Kursk station through the purgatory of Kuchina to light and Petushki. What can I drink in thy name? Alas, I haven't a thing worthy of thee. But if I should reach Petushki today in one piece, I'll create a cocktail which can be drunk without shame in the presence of God and man alike, and I'll call it the Waters of Jordan or the Star of Bethlehem. No, don't laugh. People all over the place, from Moscow to Petushki, still drink these cocktails unaware of their creator. Cocktails like Canaan Balsam, or Spirit of Geneva, or Tears of a Komsomol Girl. And that's only right. I mean, vodka on its own, even straight out of the bottle, offers nothing but aggravation, weariness of spirit. Mixing vodka and eau de cologne gives it a certain whimsy, but absolutely no pathos. However, you drink a glass of Canaan Balsam, and you'll get whimsy, ideas, pathos, and a hint of metaphysics to boot. And as for Spirit of Geneva, well, I'm not going to tell you how to distill the varnish. That's kid stuff. You know, it's weird. Nobody in Russia knows how Pushkin died, but everybody knows how to distill varnish. Anyway, you'd better write down the recipe. You've only got one life, and if you want to see it out, you don't make mistakes with recipes. Zhiguli beer, 200 grams. White lilac toilet water, 50 grams. Distilled varnish, 150 grams. Sock deodorizer, 50 grams. So there you have it. The Spirit of Geneva. There's not a drop of nobility in this cocktail, but what a bouquet. The secret lies in the white lilac, for which there is no substitute. Not jasmine, not cypress, not lily of the valley even. I mean, they really amuse me, these people that try to make Spirit of Geneva by adding lily of the valley to the sock deodorizer. However, I now give you the best. In a word, I offer you dog's giblets. The drink that puts all the others in the shade. It's not just a drink. It's the music of the spheres. What's the most beautiful thing in life? The struggle to free all mankind. But here's something even more beautiful. Write it down. Zhiguli beer, 100 grams. Shampoo, 30 grams. Anti-dandruff solution, 70 grams. Super glue, 12 grams. Brake fluid, 35 grams. Insecticide, 20 grams. Let it marinate for a week with some cigar tobacco, then serve and drink it in big gulps when the first stars appear. After 2 glasses of this, I tell you, a person becomes so inspired that you can walk up and spit right in their mush for a whole half hour, and they won't utter a word.
Nazareva Station. Next stop, Dresna.
Right. Have you got some of that down, at least? Okay. That's all you'll need for the present. And in Petushki, well, in Petushki, I let you in on the secret of the waters of Jordan. If I get there in one piece, that is, if God is merciful. Just tell me this, angels. Angels, are you still there?
Yes, Benya, we're here.
You'll stay with me right to Petushki, won't you? You won't fly away?
Oh, no, Benya. We can't stay all the way to Petushki.
But you'll meet me there, on the platform.
Of course, Benya. We'll meet you in Petushki. Do svidaniya, Vanichka.
Meanwhile, what concoction can I devise out of the crap that's left in my little suitcase? Auntie Clava's kiss. The kiss, incidentally, is a half-and-half mixture of any red wine with any vodka. Anyway, I went back into the carriage to mix this crap up into a kiss. My God, I've been away so long, since I had that drink at Kuchina. And the minute I stepped in, I froze on the spot. Where's my quarter bottle of Rossiskaya? It was standing beside my suitcase, all the way from Hammer and Sickle, nearly 100 grams left in it. And now where's it gone, eh? I mean, those angels were supposed to keep an eye on my suitcase. So what happened? Yes, right. While I was sharing my joys and sorrows with you, they let somebody rip off my Auntie Clava's kiss. Yes, but who? I looked up at the back, nothing out of the ordinary. Well, there was a couple, and pretty strange they were, too. Fantastically alike. He was wearing a jacket, so was she. He had a brownberry and a moustache, so had she. No, couldn't be neither of them. I looked round to the front. Same again. Just two odd characters. An old man and his grandson. They looked me straight in the eye and licked their lips. I'd say suspicious. The grandson's an absolute cretin, for sure. He even breathed like an idiot. First exhaled, then inhaled. Whereas with normal people, it's the reverse. And all the time watching me, with his eyes gaping and his mouth squinting. And as for the grandfather, he's even more tensed up, like he's staring down a gun barrel. And his eyes pale blue and soggy, with moisture trickling out of them like out of two drowned men straight into his boots. The entire physog was pockmarked, as if he'd been sprayed with buckshot. And right in the centre of his perforated clock dangled a puffy blue nose, like a hanged man. "My name's Mitrich," he said. "And this is my grandson, his name's Mitrich too. We're going to Oryekova to have a ride on the merry-go-round." And then his grandson went, It was a really bizarre sound. He didn't speak, more like chirps, and not out of his mouth either. He actually spoke out of his left nostril with terrific effort, as if his right nostril was having to hold the left one up. "So tell me, Mitrich," I said, "what were you up to while I was out in the corridor, while I was deep in thought, thinking about my beloved? You two were going through my stuff, right?" The grandfather was the first to cave in, and he just dissolved in tears. Then the grandson followed. They both sat there rocking and howling, and the grandson was so upset that all his armpits started blinking. Okay, that's enough," I said. "This isn't a head I've got. It's Liberty Hall. I'll even stand you some more. You've already had 50 grams each. I'll let you have another 50. Just at that point, somebody came up behind us and said, "I'd like to join in." We all looked round, and there was Black Moustache with his jacket and brown berry. He put a bottle of Stolichnaya down on the table. "You don't mind?" he said. "Yes, sure," I said. "I don't mind. But I'll have some of my own first. Auntie Clava's kiss." So we filled up, each to his own. Old Mitrich whipped out an empty quarter bottle, which I recognized straight away. And the grandson produced an actual bucket, fetched it up from somewhere between his mons pubis and his diaphragm. "To Bruderschaft, then, lads. Bruderschaft." And we all drank with our heads flung back, like pianists. Black Moustache in the jacket was the first to speak. "Do you know what Chekhov's last words were?" "Ich sterbe," he said. "I'm dying." Then he said, "Give me some more champagne," and then he died. And what about Mussorgsky? Do you know how he wrote his immortal opera Khovanshchina? He's lying in a ditch, pig drunk, and Rimsky-Korsakov's walking past in his dinner jacket with a bamboo cane. And Rimsky-Korsakov stops, tickles Mussorgsky with his cane, and says, "Come on, get up. Go and get washed, and sit down to finish your divine opera Khovanshchina." So there they're sitting. Rimsky-Korsakov in an armchair with his legs crossed, his top hat perched on the back of his head, Mussorgsky's facing him, totally knackered, unshaven, crouched over his table, sweating cobs over the notes. Mussorgsky's gasping for a drink. He doesn't give a bugger about the music. And the minute Rimsky-Korsakov's out the door, Mussorgsky dumps his immortal opera Khovanshchina, has another skinful, and plops back into his ditch. Yes, Russia's finest sons, all the people she really needed, they all drank like fish. All Russia's honest men drank themselves into a stupor out of sheer despair because they were honest, because they weren't able to relieve the people's suffering. Every thinking person in Russia drank without coming up for air, agonizing about the peasants. The bells of hell couldn't rouse them. Nobody in Russia could lift their head, lying there, suffering in their own vomit. And that's how it was right up into our own times. Yes.
Dresna Station. Next stop, Oryekova Zweva.
Anyway, Black Moustache took out his Stolichnaya then, and we all started rubbing our hands. I was getting seriously gutted, and so were the rest. Black Moustache spoke through his moustache and through the sandwich he had lodged in it.
Do you mind if I ask a silly question, he said. Why have you so much sorrow in your eyes? I mean, anybody'd think you hadn't touched a drop since morning.
I got a bit annoyed at this. What do you mean, I said. Do you think this is sorrow? My eyes are just bleary, that's all. I'm just slightly pissed. No, bleary-eyed maybe, but that's from sorrow. And you sad on account of some tart or other. A man goes to see his woman because he's sad, right? And you can't go and see your woman without a drink first. She must be pretty bad, eh? My, I said. Isn't it nice we're all so cultured? We're just like characters out of Turgenev, all sitting around arguing about love. Why don't we all tell stories? Yes, why don't we, they shouted, like Turgenev. Even old Mitrich said it. Yeah, let's go. Of course, I said, it's all a bit different in Turgenev. These people all gather round the fireside with their top hats on and their lace jabot flying. Okay, we've no fireside, but we've plenty to keep us warm. And as for jabot, who needs them? We're rat-arsed enough without them. Absolutely. But if you want love Turgenev style, I said, then you've got to be willing to sacrifice everything for your beloved. I mean you, for instance, I pointed to Black Moustache. Could you slip into party headquarters at night, take off your trousers, and drink a whole bottle of ink for the woman you loved? Could you do that? God almighty, no way. You see what I mean? Well, suddenly, old Mitrich piped up. Oh, I could do that, he says. I could tell you a few stories. God, I can just imagine it, I thought. What sort of drivel he'll come out with, what utter bilge. Well, never mind, you've got to respect people's dark corners, even if there's nothing in them but garbage. Anyway, the old man started to talk. We used to have a chairman, he said. Lohengrin, I called him, a really hard man, covered in blackheads. He gets into his boat, sails up the river, and starts squeezing his blackheads. Then, when he's had his little boat trip, he comes back to his office, and that's him. Nobody can get near him. If you so much as say boo to him, he starts to cry. Just stands there howling, pissing on the floor, just like a little kid. The old man suddenly stopped. His lips started twitching. His blue nose flared up and died down again. He was crying. He was crying like a woman, clutching his head, his shoulders heaving up and down like waves. The whole compartment was in fits of laughter. Black Moustache was annoyed. Is that it, Mitrich? Eh? What's that got to do with Turgenev, covered in blackheads, for Christ's sake? Pissing on the floor? But I felt sorry for old Mitrich. I understood his tears. He was just so sorry for everything and everybody. For the chairman, for the wall he'd pissed on, for the boat, and the blackheads. He was sorry for everything. First love or final pity. What's the odds? But at that point, Black Moustache chipped in. He raised his hand and shouted, "Ticket inspector!" To tell you the truth, nobody's that bothered about the inspector on the Petushki line because nobody's got a ticket anyway. I mean, if some degenerate actually has bought a ticket, well, more fool him. It was quite a different matter before old Semyonich was appointed chief inspector. They used to whip people with no tickets into reservations like Red Indians. Then they'd beat them about the head with the Greater Soviet Encyclopedia, give them a spot fine, and run them off the train. Chief Inspector Semyonich changed all that. Made it much simpler, more humane. People without tickets just had to give him 1 gram of vodka per kilometer. Like, for instance, if you're going from Kuskovo to Usad, that's a distance of 80 kilometers, you just pour old Semyonich 80 grams, and you're free as a bird. You can stretch out on the seat. You can travel like a merchant banker. Anyway, Semyonich came into our carriage, beaming all over his face. He could hardly stand up already. He usually only got as far as Oryekova. Then he'd dive off the train into his office, smashed out of his skull. "Is that you again, Scheherazade?" he says. "Same as usual?" "That's right, same as usual. And this time it's forever. Moscow to Petushki." At this point, I shall digress a little. And while Semyonich is drinking the finds he's so far collected, I shall meanwhile explain the significance of Scheherazade. I first bumped into Semyonich 3 years ago. He'd only just taken up his post, and he came up to see me and said, "Moscow to Petushki? Right, 125 grams. And when I told him I didn't have any grams, he said, "Right, do you want me to smash your face in?" I said there was no call for that, and started muttering something about Roman law. Now that really interested him, and he wanted more detail about Rome and the ancient world, so I started to tell him, and I just reached the scandalous tale of Tarquin and Lucretia when he had to jump out at Oryekova, so he didn't get to hear whether that idle bugger Tarquin had his wicked way with her or not. Actually, as far as world history goes, Semyonich is a chronic sex maniac, and when the inspectors got on again at Nazareva the following week, Semyonich rushed up to demand the sequel. "Come on," he says, "did he shag this Lucretia or didn't he?" Anyway, I skipped on from Roman history to the Christian era, and just as I was saying, and so, urged on by the Patriarch Cyril, the monks of Alexandria tore the clothes off the beautiful Hypatia, and the train suddenly pulled up at Oryekova, and Semyonich had to jump out onto the platform, totally spellbound. That went on for 3 years, every week, and I was the only ticketless person on the Moscow-Petushki line that never once gave Semyonich a single gram, and lived to tell the tale, moreover. Still, all good stories come to an end, and so does the history of the world. Last Friday, I had got as far as Saddam Hussein, George Bush, and Margaret Thatcher. I mean, there's nowhere left to go. And here's Semyonich. He's drunk all his fines, he belches, and stands looking at me like Scheherazade's sultan. "Moscow to Petushki," he says. 125 grams. "Semyonich," I say, "are you capable of seeing into the future? Can you come with me out of the dark ages past into the new golden age which is fast approaching, eh?" Yes, Venya. I can do anything today." "Can you go forward with me from the Third Reich, the Fourth Vertebra, the Fifth Republic, and the 17th Party Congress, into the world of the Fifth Empire, the Seventh Heaven, and the Second Coming, as awaited by all Judea?" Yes, I can. Speak, Scheherazade, speak." "Then listen. There will come a day, chosen from all days, and on that day Simeon, wearied with waiting, will say at last, 'O Lord, release thy servant.' And the Archangel Gabriel will say, 'Rejoice, Mary, Mother of God, for thou art blessed among women.' And Dr. Faust will go on saying, 'Oh, that this moment might last but a little longer, and there will be nothing but goodness and beauty.' The tormentor and his victim will entwine in a kiss. And the woman..." "What woman?" Semyonich was beginning to shake. "What woman?" "And the woman of the East will cast off her veil. Yes, she will finally fling off her yashmak, that oppressed woman of the East, and lie down. Yes, they shall lie down." "Who lie down?" Semyonich was losing his grip. "Yes, the wolf and the lamb shall lie down together, and there shall be no more tears, and each young man shall take unto himself a young lady as his fancy moves him, and they shall..." Will it be soon? Will it come soon?" And suddenly Semyonich is whipping off his jacket and his uniform trousers right down to his unmentionables. "Venya, for God's sake, tell me, this woman of the East, when she casts off her veil, what'll she have on underneath? Has she got anything on under her yashmak?"
Aryakova's way, boss. This is Aryakova's way, the station. Next stop.
And Chief Inspector Semyonich, spellbound for the 1001st time, fell out. All the fines he'd collected for fare dodging surged up from his gut and flowed across the platform, and I was left spinning like a turd in an ice hole. And when I capsized, Lord, I was immediately borne away on a powerful current of dreams. No, actually, I wasn't carried off right away. First, I felt in my pocket for an unopened bottle of Cuban vodka and had 5 or 6 good belts. Only then did I ship my oars. All these stories about the Golden Age, I've decided, were nothing but pathetic bullshit. But 12 weeks ago, I saw the prototype, and in a half-hour's time, its reflection will shine in my eyes for the 13th time. Yes. Where the birds sing non-stop, night and day, and the jasmine never fails. And what's that in the jasmine? Who's that I see draped in purple silk, her eyes closed, scenting the lilies? Grinning like an idiot, I part the jasmine twigs.
Boynova Station. Next stop will start.
Merciful God. She was expecting me at 11 o'clock in the morning, and it's still dark outside. That means I'd be waiting for her, and I don't even know where she lives. You're a bloody idiot, Venya, I said. You promised her silks and lilies, and here you're bringing her half a pound of cornflower chocolates. In 20 minutes' time, you'll be at Petushki, the platform will be drenched in sunlight, and you'll be all embarrassed, giving her these chocolates. At that point, somebody took a running jump at me, and a head crashed into my back. I turned round, and there it was, a thing, with no legs, no tail, and no head.
So you're going to Petushki, town where the jasmine never fails, winter or summer and all that, huh?
That's right, where the jasmine never fails.
Listen, chum, this is a Sphinx you see before you, and she's not going to let you through. Or rather, I will, but on one condition only, that you answer my 3 riddles.
Okay, go ahead and ask. Remove your fist from my gut, and let's have your riddles.
Right, then, here goes. When the U.S. 7th Fleet docked at Petushki Station, there were no party members among the girls, but if you count Komsomols as party members, then every 3rd Komsomol girl was a blonde. When the 7th Fleet departed, the following facts emerged. Every 3rd Komsomol girl had been raped. Every 4th rape victim turned out to be a Komsomol. Every 5th raped Komsomol turned out to be a blonde. And every 9th raped blonde was a Komsomol. So, if there are 428 girls in Petushki, tell me how many intact non-party brunettes were left.
What's this bugger driving at, I thought? Why are all the brunettes left intact and all the blondes raped? What's that supposed to mean? No, I'm sorry, Sphinx. I'm not even going to try and solve it. That's a pretty nasty riddle. Let's have the next one.
Ha! And you won't want to solve this one either, eh? Huh? What, are you stuck, you dumb streak of piss? Okay, here it comes. Lord Chamberlain, the Prime Minister of the British Empire, slipped on somebody's vomit coming out of the buffet at Petushki Station, and when he fell, he knocked over a table. Prior to being overturned, the table held the following: 2 cakes at 35 kopecks, 2 portions of beef stroganoff at 73 kopecks, 2 portions of kauzada at 39 kopecks, and 2 decanters of sherry, each holding 800 grams. The crockery remained intact, but all the food was spoiled. As for the sherry, 1 decanter remained intact, but all the sherry spilled out of it. The other decanter was smashed to smithereens, but not a drop was lost. Right then, counting the cost of an empty sherry decanter as 6 times that of a portion of a kauzada, and every child knows the price of sherry, calculate the bill presented to Lord Chamberlain, Prime Minister of the British Empire, at Kursk Station Buffet.
My Kursk Station Buffet? He slipped in Petushki. I mean, Lord Chamberlain slipped in the buffet at Petushki.
Yes, but he paid his bill in Kursk Station. So how much did it come to?
God almighty. Where do they get these sphinxes from? No legs, no head, no tail, and full of crap to boot. Plus a really villainous clock. What's the bastard driving at? Hey, that's not a riddle, Sphinx. You're just winding me up. Let's hear the last one.
Right, then. Lenin's going along the road and who should he meet but Trotsky. You're looking a bit off today, Lenin, says Trotsky. You must have been hitting the bottle. Tell us the truth now. What have you had to drink? Right, says Lenin. I'll tell you. First off, I had 150 grams of Rossiyskaya. Then I had 580 grams of Kuban, 150 of Stolichnaya, 125 of pepper vodka, then 580 grams of Spike. What about you? I had exactly the same, says Trotsky. So where are you headed for, says Lenin? Where do you think, says Trotsky? Petushki, of course. That's where I'm going, says Lenin. You're headed in the wrong direction. No, says Trotsky. You're headed in the wrong direction. Anyway, to cut a long story short, they managed to convince each other to turn back. Trotsky went one way and Lenin went the other, and they both fetched up at Kursk station. Okay, now tell me this. Supposing they hadn't changed direction, where would they have fetched up?
Petushki, maybe. Petushki, right?
Wrong. They'd have fetched up at Kursk station because nobody ever gets to Petushki.
And then the bitch started laughing. I've never heard anything like it. It's a terrible, skin-crawling laugh. And if that wasn't bad enough, she caught hold of my nose with two of her stumps, still pissing herself, and started hauling me outside. Where are we going, Sphinx? Where are you dragging me off to?
Oh, you'll find out. Just wait and see.
Anyway, she dragged me along to the end of the corridor, spun me round to face the window, and vanished into thin air. Somebody had written with their finger on the steamed-up window, F.U. And I could see the lights of a town through these letters, a whole lot of lights. And to the right, a station signboard, Pokrov, floating past. Pokrov! That's a town in Petushki district. You're on the right track, Benedict Yerofeyev. And suddenly, one single monstrous thought, ripped into me and made me go weak at the knees. Okay, I'm now going away from Pokrov Station, fine, but Pokrov Station happens to be on the right-hand side when I'm traveling out of Petushki and not from Moscow to Petushki. Hold on, Daniel, I said. Take it easy. Maybe you've just got disorientated. Maybe Pokrov's on the left, after all, and not on the right. So I looked to the left. And F.U. was written there as well. Oh, my God, I clutched my head, absolutely stunned. No, hang on, Benny, I said. You remember, the whole way from Moscow, you were sitting on the left, facing the way the train was going. So that means your little suitcase ought to be on the left, too, facing forward. You see how simple it is? Well, I raced along the whole carriage in search of my little suitcase, and it was nowhere to be seen, neither on the left nor the right. Where's my suitcase? Okay, Benny, okay. Calm down, relax. This is stupid. You can find your suitcase later. You're a fine, upstanding chap, and that's why you're going to drink the rest of your Kuban vodka. When I came to, the train was still racing through the rain and the darkness. It was weird listening to the doors banging in all the carriages, really weird. Because, there wasn't another soul on the train anywhere. I lay there like a corpse in a cold sweat, with the fear building up under my heart. I squeezed hard on my temples, trembling all over. And the carriages started shaking too. Suddenly the sunset flamed red, the horses shuddered, and I knew the Moscow to Petushki train was coming off the rails. Carriages rose up and crashed down again, and the doors kept on banging, and the angels wept. Then I woke up on the platform, and around me was nothing but the wind, the darkness, and the perishing cold. And from far away out of the mist floated those two long streaks of piss from Mukina's famous sculpture, the worker with the hammer and the peasant girl with the sickle coming towards me, smirking. And the worker bashed me on the head with his hammer, and the peasant girl had a swipe at my balls with her sickle. Oh, the pain. Oh, this freezing cold. I can't stand it. If every Friday is going to be like this, I'll hang myself one Thursday. Oh, 'While I was trying to reach you, who slaughtered all your little birds?
and trample down your jasmine. Oh, Queen of Heaven, I'm in Petushki, I'm in Petushki. Well, never mind, you're afraid. Talitha Kumi, as the Saviour said, arise and go. I know, you feel crushed, body and soul. And the platform's cold and deserted, and nobody's there to meet you, and nobody'll ever be there to meet you. But arise and go, give it a try. You'll soon find out why there's nobody here, why she didn't meet you. You'll know everything. Go, Venya, go. Somebody once told me it was quite easy to die. All you need to do is breathe in really deep, as hard as you can, 40 times on the trot. Then breathe out the same number of times, and you'll give up the ghost. Might be worth a try. Actually, if I die sometime, and I know I'm going to die very soon, then I'll die without accepting this world. I've observed it, close up and from afar. I've got it sussed. But I can't accept it. I'll die, and he'll ask me, he'll say, well, how did you find it down there? Good or bad? And I won't answer. And the Lord, wreathed in blue lightning, will say to me, why don't you speak? But what can I tell him? I turned the corner and knocked at the first door I saw. You know, it's weird. They've flung up some really tall buildings in Petushki. Actually, it's always like that after a prolonged piss-up. People seem terribly angry. The streets are fantastically wide, and the buildings are so tall. It's scary. I knocked again, a bit louder this time. I mean, it can't be that difficult, surely, to open the door and let a person get warm for a couple of minutes. I don't understand it. They do, the serious people, they understand it, but I never will. I'm too much of a lightweight. Mini, tekel, ufasin, i.e. I've been weighed in the balance and found wanting. A lightweight, a tekel. What the hell? Us lightweights will be weighed again up there, and it'll be our turn. We shall overcome, yes. But why have they widened the streets in Petushki? It's so strange. I walked away from the door and turned my heavy eyes on house after house, entry after entry. I couldn't make anything out. Don't cry, Yerofeev, I said, don't cry. Oh, if only I could have even just 20 mouthfuls of Kuban vodka. They'd reach down to my heart, and my heart could always convince my reason that I was in Petushki. But I had no Kuban vodka, and at that point something happened far more terrifying than anything I'd seen in my dreams. Down that very same street, 4 men came walking towards me. They didn't look like criminals, no, quite the contrary. There was a suggestion of the classical about them. But their eyes, all 4 of them had such eyes, you know. Listen, I said, but my voice cracked because every one of my nerves was trembling, not just my voice. Nobody can be sure of himself at night on a cold night. Even the apostle betrayed Christ before the 3rd cock crowed. Actually, the apostle betrayed Christ 3 times before cockcrow, and he was at least able to warm himself, but I haven't even got a fire, and I have a desperate hangover. And if they were to torture me now, I'd betray him up to 7 times 70, and more besides. Listen, I said, let me go. I mean, what am I to you? I've just missed my girlfriend. I was on the train, and I didn't make it. I fell asleep. Somebody stole my little suitcase while I was asleep. There was nothing in it, just junk, some cornflower sweets, and 200 grams of walnuts. I was taking them to my little kid. I'd promised him I would, because he knows his letters so well. And the 4 of them stood looking at me, thinking, this is a fool, a chicken-livered half-wit. Oh, God, let them think what they like, as long as they let me go. I want to go back to Petushki. You're going to know Petushki. All right, I won't. I'll go to Kursk station. You won't be going to any station. Why not? Because. One of them swung back his arm then and walloped me on the jaw. The next one, he punched me in the face, and the other two attacked me as well. Oh, run, Vanya, run like the wind anywhere. Run to Kursk station, it doesn't matter where you fetch up. Run, Vanya, run. I clutched my head and started running, and they kept after me. If they catch me, they'll kill me. I jumped out onto a square, paved with wet cobblestones, caught my breath, and had a look round. This isn't Petushki. No way is this Petushki. The Kremlin was shining before me in all its splendor. Even though I could hear my pursuer's footsteps behind me, I was still able to think. I've crisscrossed Moscow, God knows how often, drunk or hungover, and I've never once clapped eyes on the Kremlin. I've always wound up at Kursk station. But now I've seen it. But it's Kursk station I need more than anything. Unfathomable are thy ways, O Lord. The footsteps were getting closer, but right to the very last second I still believed I could save myself. Never mind, Venya, it's okay. Your heart will calm down in an hour or so. The blood will wash off. Lie down, Venya. Have a lie down till the morning. Then you can go to Kursk station. Downstairs I could hear the entry door opening. Shaking like a leaf, I told myself, Talitha Kumi, arise and prepare to meet thy doom. This is no longer Talitha Kumi, I can feel it in my bones. This is Lama Sabachthani, as our Saviour said. My God, why hast thou forsaken me? Yes, Lord, why hast thou forsaken me? So the Lord was silent. Oh, angels in heaven, they're coming upstairs. What am I going to do? What can I do now so I won't die? Angels. And the angels burst out laughing. Do you know how angels laugh? Shall I tell you? A long time ago, at Lobny station, a man was killed by a train. It was incredible. The entire bottom half of his body was chopped up into little pieces and strewn all over the railbed, while the top half was left standing, like the busts of all those various bastards you see on pedestals. Anyway, the train moved off, and he, that half of him, was left with a sort of worried look on his face, and his mouth half open. Most people couldn't stand to watch, but some kids ran up, 3 or 4 of them. They'd found a fag end somewhere, and they stuck it in the dead man's mouth. Smoke was still coming off the fag end, and the kids started running round him, tee-heeing at the great joke. Well, that's how the heavenly angels laughed at me now. They laughed, and God was silent. Then I saw those 4 men. They were coming up onto the landing. They didn't even pause for breath. They launched themselves at me from the last few steps, and that was when the most terrible thing happened. One of them, the one with the fiercest and most classical profile, whipped out a huge cobbler's awl with a wooden handle. Maybe it wasn't an awl, it might have been a screwdriver or something, I don't know. But he ordered the others to hold my arms, and no matter how I tried to defend myself, they nailed me down, practically crazed with pain. Why? I kept murmuring. Why? They plunged the awl deep into my throat. I never knew pain like that was possible. I writhed in torment, and a thick letter Y spread over my eyes and started to quiver. At that point, I lost consciousness. I haven't come to yet, and I never shall.
In Moscow stations, the part of Vanya was played by Tom Courtney. Tina Marion was the Sphinx and station announcer, and the angels were played by Cyril Jenkins, Melinda Walker, and Tina Marion. The play was translated and dramatized by Stephen Mulrine from the novel Moscow Petushki by Benedict Yerofeev. The director was Fania Williams.
Miss Lonely Hearts by Nathaniel West. Dramatized by Vincent McInerney, with Nigel Anthony as the narrator, Bill Wallace as Shrike, and William Hope as Miss Lonely Hearts.
I went down to the St. James Infirmary, found my baby there, stretched out on a long white table, so sweet, so cold, so fair. Let her go, God bless her, wherever she may be. She can search this wide world over, she'll never find a sweet man like me.
One day in the very early spring of the year 1933, Miss Lonely Hearts of the New York Dispatch, are you in trouble? Do you need advice? Write to Miss Lonely Hearts and she will help you, was making his way slowly to the office. For all his stylish, cheap clothes, he still looked like the son of a New England Baptist minister. Puritan forehead, long nose, chin shaped and cleft like a hoof. So much so that his boss, Shrike, seeing him for the first time, had observed that the Susan Chesters, the Beatrice Fairfaxes, and the Miss Lonely Hearts are the priests of 20th century America. Miss Lonely Hearts reached the door of the city room, paused for a moment.
Hi, Miss L. Miss L, you're
Dear, sick of it all. Yes, life is worthwhile, for it's full of dreams, peace, and faith. It burns like a clear white flame on a dark altar.
Miss L, what's new?
Hello, Goldsmith.
Shrike says to tell you deadline's quarter of an hour and that he's writing you a prayer. Hey, here, today's batch. You're a big success, fella. You just keep it up.
Dear Miss Lonely Hearts, I'm in such pain I think I will kill myself. My kidneys hurt so much. My husband thinks no woman can be a good Catholic and not have children irregardless of pain. I was married from church, but no one ever told me about married life, so I never knew. It don't pay to be innocent. I had 7 children in 12 years and have been operated on twice, and my husband promised no more as I might die, and now I'm going to have a baby, and... Dear Miss Lonely Hearts, I'm 16 years old and would appreciate if you would tell me what to do. When I was a little girl, it was not so bad as I got used to all the other kids making fun of me, but now I would like a boyfriend, except no one will have me because I was born without a nose. Oh. Even though I'm quite a good dancer and have a nice shape. Dear Miss Lonely Hearts, Harold S. I'm writing for my little sister Grace. What would you do if the same thing happened to your family? Gracie, Daff, and Dom has to play on the roof so as not to get run over. But she ain't so smart. Last week, a man...
Hold it right there, Moses. And listen to this. Soul of Miss L, glorify me. Body of Miss L, nourish me. Blood of Miss L, intoxicate me. Oh, good, Miss L, excuse my plea and hide me in your heart. Help me, Miss L, help me, in cycler, I'm a man. And now let's see what you got.
Hey, Shrike.
Same old creeping Jesus stuff. Come on, my boy, give him something new, something hopeful. Tell him about art. Here, let me... Friends! Art is a way out, friends. Do not let life overwhelm you, no. When the old paths are choked with the debris of failure, look for one that is new. Look, in fact, for art. For art is distilled from suffering, as is all creation. While for those who do not have the talent to create, there is always appreciation. You follow me? So take it from there, Miss L. You hear me? Go on from there.
Everybody's selling it.
Yeah.
Everybody's buying it.
Yes.
You can't get enough of that stuff. Some like it sweet, some like it strong. Stuff is what they want, right or wrong. A cow took a drink and said, give me room. It made the cow jump over the moon. The more you get, the more you want. You can't get enough of that stuff. I mean, you can't get enough of that stuff.
After work, the weather had warmed up. The air smelling artificially heated, Miss Lonelyhearts decided to go for a drink at Delahanty's speakeasy. He made his way toward the small park he had to cross and entered, swallowing mouthfuls of the heavy shadow that curtained its arch. The shadow of a lamppost which lay on the path pierced his side like a spear, and suddenly tired, he decided to sit on a broken bench. He looked down. There were no signs of spring evident in the mottled ground, no signs of life. It would take all the brutality of July to torture through a few green shoots, which would then smell of feet. He closed his eyes. He had initially taken the job on the newspaper in the hopes it might lead to the gossip column. At first he had treated the letters as a joke, all 30 a day, all stamped from the dough of suffering with a heart-shaped cookie knife. But now his correspondents took him seriously. He'd become a great success through glibness and cliché, but the joke had rebounded. And now what he needed was an answer to their suffering and his ineptitude. He searched the sky, looking for angels, flaming crosses, wheels within wheels. Nothing but a newspaper lying across a tree like a kite with a broken back. Christ was the real answer, of course. But if he did not want to get sick, he had to stay away from the Christ business, for as a boy in his father's church, he discovered that something stirred in him when he shouted the name of Christ, something secret and enormously powerful that lay coiled in him like a snake that he had never yet allowed to become alive. He shivered as he left the park and made the short walk to Delahanty's, which was located behind an armored door in the cellar of a brownstone house. Miss Lonelyhearts pressed the concealed button and waited patiently as a bloodshot eye that glowed like a ruby in an antique iron ring inspected him through the peephole. They were all there.
The boss is over there, Miss L. Waiting for you.
Ah, there you are. Delahanty, a drink for our young friend? Come closer, my boy, or are we brooding again?
For Christ's sake, Shrike, give it a break, will you?
Christ? Never mind Christ. Forget the crucifixion. Remember the Renaissance. There were no brooders then. Drunken popes, brown Greek manuscript mistresses with smooth, marbly limbs. Which reminds me, I'm expecting an admirer shortly, Emma Farkas. She works in a bookstore and writes on the side, but wait until you see her rear end.
Lay off, will you?
J.C., your only sweetheart, I suppose. Over here! Wow, look at those bylines. Hi, Farky, this is Miss Lonelyhearts, does the sob column on the paper. Even so, I want you to show him the same respect you show me, as he, too, is a comforter of the poor in spirit and a lover of God.
What were you talking about so excitedly when I got here?
Only religion, Farky.
Get me a drink and please continue. I'm very much interested in the new Thomistic synthesis.
St. Thomas? What do you take us for, stinking intellectuals? We're not fake Europeans. America has its own religion. We were discussing Christ, the Miss Lonelyhearts of all Miss Lonelyhearts. You want a synthesis? Here. This is real American synthesis material. Frank H. Rice, Supreme Pontiff, Liberal Church of America, announces goat and adding machine ritual for William Moyer, a condemned slayer. Prayers to be offered on adding machine as numbers constitute the only universal language. What do you say to that?
Really?
Quiet, you damned bitch! Quiet, you here.
Mr. Shrike, I got a bar to run. No violence, please, sir. Oh, there's the back room.
Mr. Shrike, Saint Shrike to you, Delahanty.
Yeah.
Have you not heard of my passion in the luncheonette, my agony in the soda fountain? When I compared the wounds in Christ's body to the mouths of a miraculous purse in which we deposit the small change of our sins? And what of the holes in our own bodies, which open into a wondrous jungle, where hang veins alongside overripe organs, where entrails writhe in tangles of red and yellow? And what of the bird that lives in this jungle? One that flits from lungs to intestines, from liver to lights and back again, and is called the soul. A bird the Catholic hunts with bread and wine, the Hebrew with a golden ruler, the Protestant with leaden words on leaden feet, the Buddhist with gestures, and the Negro with blood. Yet I spit on them all. Puh, I call you to spit too. Puh, because, my friends, a bird is better alive in the jungle than stuffed on the library table. Am I right, Farky? Come here. Let me show you.
Mr. Shrike, please, Mr. Shrike.
And you, Miss L. Whither goest thou? Quo vadis, Miss L. Quo vadis?
Leaving the speakeasy, the last thing Miss Lonely Heart saw was Shrike, burying his white, expressionless, triangular face into Miss Farkas's neck. On the sidewalk, he stood swaying for a moment and then caught a cab back to his apartment. He lived in a room that was as full of shadows as an old steel engraving. The walls bare except for an ivory Christ he had removed from its crucifix and then nailed with large spikes opposite the bottom of the bed. Miss Lonely Hearts undressed and took up a cigarette and a copy of the Brothers Karamazov, where Father Zosima reflects that whoever loves all things will eventually perceive the divine mystery, and at last come to love the whole world with an all-embracing love. Miss Lonely Hearts realized this was excellent advice that could possibly lead to his column being syndicated, but on a more serious level, knew his vocation was of a different sort. He fixed his eyes on the image that hung opposite, began to chant, Christ, Christ, Jesus Christ. And the snake began to uncoil. But as it did, so he felt frightened and closed his eyes and dreamt.
Right. Here's your rock. Come on, drag it over.
You think this is all right?
Sure, look, we argue all night about the existence of God until we run out of whiskey, so then what?
Well, early market, I suppose, to get some more. But this lamb business...
Sacrifice, plenty of biblical precedent, simply practical work to back up our theory. And all in the best tradition. Buy a knife, buy a lamb, find a mountain, find a rock, scatter some flowers, and then... No, round this way. Cross the flat, get its neck exposed, hold it. Hold it.
Hell, you've only wounded it. Where's it gone?
The underbrush. Come on. We better go. Somebody will be up here shortly. Come on, I'll race you down.
What the hell's the matter with you? Where are you going now? Where are you going?
Back to complete the sacrifice.
After the dream, in the succeeding days, Miss Lonely Hearts found he had developed an almost insane sensitiveness to order. Everything had to form a pattern. Shoes, ties, pencils, buildings on the skyline. For a little while he seemed to hold his own, until the day all inanimate objects began to conspire against him. Collar buttons disappeared under the bed, the razor handle fell off, the blind refused to close. Frightened, he fled to the streets. But there, chaos was simply multiplied. He stood against the wall, trying not to see or hear. Then he remembered Betty, and how, when she straightened his tie, he often felt she straightened out much more. He gave her address to the taxi driver and told him to hurry, but knew by the time they reached there, his panic would have turned to irritation.
I need loving every day. I got to drive my blues away. You got to put your mind on it. You got to put your mind on it.
Hello, Betty. Betty the Buddha in her white dressing robe and arms smoothed by the sea.
Are you coming in?
Sure. Here. Too much the lover's return, I know. My tongue like a fat thumb. How long is it?
Oh, I don't know. 2 months. Where have you been? Will you eat dinner with me?
Sure, let's sit down here on the sofa. Betty, that last night when I asked you to marry me, it was just... I felt that as a solution it was possible at that time, but now...
Do you want a drink?
Why are you smiling? Always smiling. Always so damn sure. But I'll tell you something. My confusion is significant while your order is not. Look, that marriage business, me in front of the fire, you in your gingham apron, it's not gonna work. It's...
What's wrong? You look... Let me feel your forehead.
Get your goddamn hand off of me! How about I grab you here, inside your robe? Let me pluck this rose, huh? Put it in my buttonhole.
You are, aren't you? Sick?
Am I? What a kind bitch you are. Somebody acts violently, they're sick. Wife torturers, rapers of small children, all sick! No morality, only medicine. Well, maybe I am. Maybe I got a Christ complex. You heard of that one? All those broken bastards. I love them. But I can't help them, not unless I was Christ. Do you understand me? Listen. Listen to this. Because if I'm sick, this is what causes it. Dear Miss Lonely Hearts, being an admirer of your column as you give such good advice to those in trouble, I would like now to tell you my problem. A year ago, my husband left me. Then he got 6 months off the judge for non-support of my little girl, and the judge says after 3 months, give him another chance. I did, and have spent now $30 afterwards in the dentist. I find under his pillow a hammer, scissors, and stuff, and that is not the worst, as I have now got this disease he first got while in the forces. And then it goes on for another 5 pages of graduated terror, after which she signs herself Broad Shoulders. Now, what can I tell her, Betty? What advice do I give her? What advice would you give? Come on, share your knowledge, tell me. You here, tell me. Something. Anything. Tell me, Betty. Anything!
I love you.
You what?
I love you.
And I love you. So what?
Why don't you just leave me alone? I felt swell before you came, and now I feel lousy. Just go away! Please, just go away! Dear friends, you know where to find them.
Honey, more whiskey.
Jeez, Miss L, who gave you the lip? I mean, what's the other guy look like?
Hey, Goldsmith, I got the chair.
Okay.
So these women writers, they all go by 3 names. Mary Roberts Wilcox, Eloisa Catheter, Fort Mary Reinhardt. You know what that means?
They all need a good rape. Soon drop that trick English accent and how much beauty hurts stuff. That poetess from Vassar went around the speakeasies collecting facts for a novel about life. Well, they took her in the back room for 3 days. Sold tickets on the 3rd. Hey, you heard about that one, Miss L?
Yeah, sure, Golden.
Shrike says Miss L's a leper licker.
Hey, Delahanty, serve this man a leper.
Trouble with Miss L is his approach to God. Too damn literary. Plain song, Latin poetry, medieval painting, Hisman, stained glass windows, crap like that. Any genuine religious experience of his would only make sense to a psychologist anyway.
Yeah, well, I've had enough of this joint. Come on, Miss L. Let's try somewhere else. Here, give me your arm. Hey, you look terrible. You know that? Thought of asking Shrike for the sports page? Let's head that away. Jeez, look at the snow. I'm going outside for a moment. I may be gone sometime.
Miss Lonely Hearts had long stopped listening to his friends in Delahanty's. telling their stories until they were too drunk to talk, aware of their own childishness, yet not knowing how else to revenge themselves. At college, maybe for a year afterward, they believed in literature, beauty, and personal expression. But when they lost this, they lost everything. Money and fame meant nothing to them. They were not worldly men. For a while at the start of the evening, he had felt warm and sure. The whiskey had tasted good. And through the light blue tobacco smoke, the mahogany bar had shone like wet gold. The glasses and bottles, when touched by the bartender, had rung like bells. He had forgotten the balm in his heart and had thought back to his childhood, when once, waiting for his father to come home from church, he had gone to the piano and played a little Mozart dance. To his amazement, his younger sister, who had never danced before, began to gravely step to the music. He had stood at the bar, remembering, and swaying slightly to the long-forgotten measures. Then a picture of children dancing came into his mind, first one, then another, until in the end there was not one child on the whole earth who was not dancing. Lost in this vision, he had stepped back and accidentally collided with a man carrying a glass of beer. After listening carefully to his apology, the man had punched him in the mouth. Then he was in the back room fingering a loose tooth. Then listening to his friends at the bar. Now outside in the snow with Goldsmith. His anger swung in large drunken circles. What was this Christ business? Where would it take him? It was all the fault of the letters. Just to be able to truly believe would mean he could answer them truly. Did that make sense? He and Goldsmith staggered along until they found themselves in front of a comfort station. They decided to go in and warm up.
Hey, look at that old guy asleep on the john.
Well, well, snug as a bug in a rug, eh?
What? What do you want? Who are you?
If you can't get a woman, get a clean old man.
Oh, Smith, he's doing no harm.
Fancy an outing, partner?
Well, really?
Grab an arm, Miss Elf. Hey, what's your name, friend?
Simpson. George B. Simpson.
Now pick up your cane and put on your gloves, George. And let's make this a night to remember.
Appetizing young love for sale.
So, what's wrong with whiskey?
I simply prefer coffee. Perhaps you might care for some yourself.
Listen, you. Cut that stuff. Let's hear the story of your life.
Oh, really? You
See, we're scientists. He's Havelock Ellis, and I'm Kraft Evans. Now, George, when did you first discover homosexualistic tendencies in yourself? Yeah, sure. But your little differences from other men?
No, he didn't mean to insult you, George. Scientists just have terribly bad manners. But you're a pervert, aren't you?
I refuse to...
Hey, watch that cane!
No,
grab it, quick! Oh, hell, sit down, Miss L. The old fag's had enough. Who'd have thought he had it in him, huh?
Not from me. I'm gonna get his story if I have to kill him.
No, but you were sympathetic to the guy. I mean, what's got into you? What the hell's going on with you, Miss L? What the hell's going on?
If you want to buy our wares, follow us and climb the stairs.
Next morning, Miss Lonely Hearts opened his eyes to find the room revolving around him like a Catherine wheel. It had been okay with Simpson at first until the man had become distressed. Then Simpson's pain had reminded him of a small frog he had trod on years ago, whose spilled guts had filled him with pity until its suffering had become real to him, at which point he had crushed it. As with the frog, so with Simpson. His reaction was to crush. This meant twisting Simpson's arm up his back until the man screamed, and Goldsmith had hit Miss Lonely Hearts over the head with a chair. In reality, he was really twisting the arm of his correspondents, of desperate, broken-hearted, sick of it all. Twisting their arms because he refused to open his big, understanding heart to receive them properly.
Yeah?
You know what time it is? 3:30. You coming in today?
I'm still drunk. I'll try and get there.
You know what you need, my boy, don't you?
Some whiskey, or a bath, or a clean shirt.
No, my friend, you need more than that. Christ, of course, though I feel you're drawing nearer to him all the time, but also, well, how is Betty these days?
She's fine. How's Mary?
Fine. You've seen her lately?
No, not lately.
Maybe you should.
Maybe even today.
Sure, give her a ring. Grab a bottle and get round to the apartment.
You gonna be joining us?
My boy, I've work to do, but say hello to her from me, won't you?
Look here, sweet mama, where have you been? You walk like whiskey and you smell like gin. I was afraid of that.
Hello, who is it?
It's me, Mary.
Oh, you. Well, we've been fighting again, and this time I'm finally through.
Yeah, I've just been talking to him. He suggested that I come around to see you.
The bastard. That's it. Hey, does that mean you haven't been in today? You're not careful, he'll fire you.
The only way he's going to do that, Mary, is if I... Well, you and I maybe...
Not that again. Look, just buy some hooch and get over here. Maybe later. We'll see.
My old man was peeping through the keyhole. Saw Mama and Iceman making jelly roll. I was afraid of that.
Surprise, huh? Come on in, homebreaker. The wife is taking a bath. Here, let me take that bottle. Whiskey and the boss's wife, huh? Still better your heart and your work and your mouth where it usually is. Just don't put this on your expense account.
Well, you're just an old meanie who beats his wife, huh?
You're wrong, my boy. It's Mary does the beating. Hence the Miss Farkases of this world. Yes, I suffer. I, too. You don't know her! That wife of mine, a virgin when we married and been trying to stay one ever since, like sleeping with a knife in your groin. One bitch, one damn selfish bitch!
Well, you're hurt, Shrike. You're finally hurt. And I'm glad. You understand? Glad.
Say, what's all the racket? Oh, you're here, Miss L. Don't talk to that pig. Bring that bottle into the bedroom. Come on. He doesn't care. Do ya? Bastard! Come on. What did that swine say to you?
You were selfish, Mary? Sexually selfish.
Oh, goddamn nerve. Lets me go out with guys like you to save money. Then when I come home with the hots, climbs into my bed and practically begs me for it. The cheap bastard. Right, where we eat. Oh, no, you must be. I know. El Gaucho. Yeah, it's gay, and that's what I need tonight. Okay, let's go grab a cab.
When they reached El Gaucho, it was full of the same people who wrote to Miss Lonely Hearts for help. Mary, on being led to a table by a man dressed as a South American cowboy, immediately went Spanish, her movements becoming languid and full of abandon. Miss Lonely Hearts began to feel very tired.
These waiters dressed as vaqueros really get to me. Sure, it's a little fakey, but so what? It's gay. And that's what I want it to be.
Why, Mary?
Everybody does. Unless they're sick, don't they?
Mary, the way to be gay is to make others gay. Sleep with me and I'll be one gay dog.
I've had a tough time, you know. I saw my mother die. Cancer of the breast. The pain was terrible.
Mary, sleep with me. Save me.
I know. Let's dance.
Okay, tell me about your mother.
She died leaning over a table. She climbed out of bed. Look. Oh!
I got it. It's okay.
My father, though, cruel. A portrait painter, a genius. But as far as his family went, well...
Oh, you poor kid, Mary. What's that between your breasts?
Just my medal.
Blessed Virgin?
Mm-hmm.
St. Jude?
Here, have a look down. Read it.
Awarded Boston Latin School, 100 yards dash. Just let me...
No, not in public. Now, my father was a very gay man. Gay all the time.
Una cosa me da risa, Pancho Villa sin camisa, ya se van los carrancistas, porque vienen los villistas.
So, how's the drunkard? Day off and the boss's wife. That's the way, fella. Say, I had to do your column yesterday. You certainly got some prime cases on your list, such as this. Pink paper and all.
Come on, Goldie, hand it over.
No, sir, you listen. Dear Miss Lonely Hearts, I am no good at writing, so I wonder if I could talk with you. I am only 32 years old, but have had lots of trouble and am married to a cripple. I can't state my case, as I am not good at letters, and besides, it would take an expert to state my case. I know you are a man, and I'm glad, as I don't trust women. You were pointed out to me in Delahanty's, and I feel I know you already. So please call me up on Burgess 77373, as I need your advice bad about my married life and admirer Faye Doyle. Wow, listen, Miss L, you remember you were going to advise one of your cases to commit suicide, and Shrike said your job was to increase circulation? Well, play your cards right with this, Hotsy. You might just be able to do that, okay? So where? Desk or garbage can? Thinking it over, huh? Well, little father, I leave it to you.
Hello?
Hello? Is Mrs. Doyle in?
Who is it?
I want to speak to Mrs. Doyle. Is that Mrs. Doyle?
Yeah, that's me.
This is Miss Lonely Hearts.
Who?
Miss Lonely Hearts, the man who does the column.
Oh, hello.
You said I should call.
Oh, yes.
When can I see you?
Now.
Where?
You say.
You know that little park near the obelisk? Half an hour, okay?
I need loving every day. I got to drive my blues away. You got to put your mind on it. You got to put your mind on it.
In the park, on the bench, Miss Lonely Hearts again examined the sky like a detective trying to solve his own exhaustion. Then he saw a big woman walking in his direction. He made a quick catalog. Legs like Indian clubs, breasts like balloons, brow like a pigeon, short plaid skirt, rabbit skin jacket, and tam o' shanter. Despite all of this, she still looked like a police chief.
Miss Lonely Hearts? Hey, you're hurting my arm. Where are we going?
Drink.
Not Dallas. They know me there.
Oh, my place, then.
What, I?
Oh, please let me have it. I just got to have it. Oh, baby, won't you give it to me, please? Oh, please let me use it. I won't abuse it. I ask you on my bended knee. Why don't you let me have it?
Here, your highball.
Thanks. Gee, a guy like you must know an awful lot about women, what with your job. Say, there's some fluff on your knee. Oh, Miss Lonely Hearts. Oh, no. Oh, darling. Oh, quick, turn out the light.
Oh, baby, won't you give it to me, please? Oh, baby, won't you give it to me, please?
I am ashamed of myself. truly a shame. You think I'm a bad woman?
Not particularly.
My husband isn't much. Like I wrote. A cripple. My kid Lucy isn't even his.
That's terrible.
Yeah, well, it's a long story. A long, long story. I got into trouble through trusting a dirty dago named Tony Bonelli. And asked Doyle for the money for an abortion. I'd let Doyle take me out once or twice. Even though I was one of the most popular girls on the block.
Oh, yeah?
But Doyle was broke, so instead I married him. Then when Lucy comes along, Doyle, well, he even makes out it's his kid. Our child. Then one day I takes Lucy to see Bonelli, who's doing swell now. The dirty wop says he'd never seen me before. Then Lucy, well, asked me. And I told her. Too many movies, I guess. When Doyle gets back, Lucy says he isn't her papa. Doyle goes for me with his stick. I sock him. We all end up crying on the floor. What do you think?
Mrs. Doyle.
Faye.
I think your husband loves you. The both of you. Very much.
Oh, maybe so. But I was a pretty girl. And could have had my pick.
Oh, you're still pretty.
Oh, Miss L. Come on. Let's get back to business.
Shortly after Faye Doyle left, Miss Lonelyhearts became physically ill, sleeping and dreaming intermittently for 2 days of pawn shops, phalluses, and flotsam. When he finally awoke, he was very weak, but calm, for he'd begun to see where the letters were coming from, and belief was no longer a problem. Then there was a timid knock on the door.
Hello. Are you all right? I heard you hadn't been at the office. I brought some soup and stuff. What is it?
It's called doylophobia. Very rare. About the other day,
Never mind
Betty.
about that. Here, sit up. I'll feed you some of this. It's the job, isn't it? Made you ill? Can't you give it up?
And do what?
I don't know. Maybe an advertising agency.
Betty, I know where the letters are coming from.
First, though, you need a rest. My aunt has a farm, you know, and I'm sure she'd be willing to
I
loan
know
it
where
to us
they're
for a
coming
short
from,
time.
Betty.
And I know you'd love it. It's fresh and clean, and once you were there, you'd find all
Betty.
your troubles were simply city troubles,
And she is correct. You are an escapist, my friend, but the soil is not for you.
Betty, wait!
Leave her. Nor shall the blanket over the head avail against the voice of the prophet. You are fed up with the city and its teeming millions. The bus takes too long and the subway is always crowded. So you buy a farm and walk behind your horse's moist behind, and the rhythm of an old work enters your soul, and your step becomes the heavy sexual one of the dance-drunk Indian. My friend, is this for you? No! And you are right! Then let us now consider the South Seas. You live in a thatched hut with the daughter of a king. Her breasts are golden speckled pears, her belly a melon, and her odor that of jungle fern. And when the beautiful society girl creeps into your hut to learn the secret of your happiness, you send her back to her yacht that hangs on the horizon like a nervous racehorse. No, of course not. The South Seas are played out. So, hedonism, golf as well as booze, pictures by Matisse, Proust and a banana by the fire. But then the day comes. Your doctors shake their heads. You decide on one last party. You summon all your friends. You sit in a black plastic coffin carved by Eric Gill and explain your philosophy. Life, you say, is a club where they only deal you one hand, and you must sit in. So, even if the cards are marked, play up like a gentleman And a sport. Get tanked, raid the buffet, use the girl upstairs, but don't squark. Never squark. I won't even ask you what you think of that. Which brings us again to our old favorite, Artician. Bach, Brahms, tell them that's where your heart is. Tell them to keep their society whores and pressed duck with oranges. Yours is a spiritual food. Tell them you know your shoes are broke. Tell them you have pimples on your face, even buck teeth, but that you don't care. For tomorrow, they are playing Beethoven's last quartet at Carnegie Hall, while at home you have all Shakespeare's plays in one volume. After which I'll bypass suicide and drugs as beneath your notice and come to the goal of my lecture. For we, you and I, know God is our only escape. The first Church of Christ Dentist, worshipped as the preventer of decay, to whom I will now dictate a letter for you. Dear Miss Lonely Hearts of Miss Lonely Hearts, I am in the newspaper game and 26 years old. Life for me at present is a desert. I cannot find comfort in food, drink, or women. The leopard of discontent walks my city, while the lion of discouragement crouches without its walls. Is it true? The greatest scientists believe in you again? Thanking you for your quick reply. Yours truly, a subscriber!
Shortly after this, Miss Lonely Hearts agreed to go to the farm.
I don't understand Shrike. Often he just seems to want to drag you down with him, and the rest. Or fire you. Then he gives you sick leave with pay.
He won't fire me. I'm his butt. He's a fool. Betty, they're coming from Christ.
Remember the zoo? Before we set off? How looking at the buffalo seemed to calm you?
Through his agents, I know they
Connecticut sure is lovely. There, look. Oh, the pond I fell into as a little girl. And the house. Few more yards. Here we are. Will you unload while I open up?
That was fine, Betty. You make a good wife.
Let's go and look at the pond before it gets dark. Come on. Down through the trees. Here, give me your hand. Oh, isn't it wonderful? No cars, no voices, no human smells. Stop.
What?
Look. A deer and fawn coming to drink. Let me... Oh, damn.
I'll have to wait till tomorrow now. Let's have one last cigarette. Damn! Ow, my fingers.
Never mind. Your nerves won't take long to settle.
And then Shrike again. But I'm prepared this time. This time I intend to take a leaf out of Christ's book. This time I intend to have humility.
Let's go back now. We haven't much longer. I'm beginning to feel the cold.
Several days later, they drove back to the city. When they reached the Bronx slums, Miss Lonely Hearts knew that Betty had failed to cure him, and that he had been right when he said that he could never forget the letters. He felt better knowing this, because he'd begun to think himself a faker and a fool. The next day, bearing his humility in front of him like a processional cross, he went into the office. Fortunately, Shrike was not in, so he was spared an immediate test. He sat and looked at the letters. Finally, As an animal in a trap tears at its foot in order to hurt the pain, he began to open them. After a dozen, and one about a lodger and a housebound widow's young son, he felt sick and had to stop. Goldsmith wandered across.
Hi, stranger. See, there were plenty of thick ones waiting for you. Those bums must know you're back.
Yes, of course. Yes, I see that.
Jeez. Say, listen, Miss L, that country touch, what Shrike called your rural anima, any skirt up there?
At Goldsmith, on the way to the office this morning, I saw a man who looked on the verge of death drag himself into a movie theater to see a picture called Blonde Beauty, while a woman with an enormous goiter picked up a love story from a trash can and seemed excited beyond measure by her find.
Miss L, you finally got the rats?
No, Goldsmith, I've got humility. Christ has finally brought me to humility.
And Goldsmith is going to bring you to Delahanty's. Come on, grab your hat.
Everybody's selling it. Yeah. Everybody's buying it. Yes, you can't get enough of that stuff.
'Tis he, 'tis the Savior.
Take it easy, boss. Should have heard him on the way here. He's even giving up that good-looking broad of his because all is vanity. He's sick, boss.
I must differ with you, Goldsmith. It is we who are sick. Those who have faith are well.
Tell us, brother, how you first came to believe. Music in church?
The death of a loved one. Some wise old priest may happen. No, of course not. It was the letters, wasn't it, my son?
Pardon me, Miss Lonely Hearts. There's a man named Doyle here wants to meet you. Says you know his wife. Pete Doyle.
Let me shake your hand, sir. And yours. And yours, sir.
I'm with you, buddy.
A drink, gentlemen. Delahanty, please. These friends of mine.
Very kind of you, Mr. Doyle. Very generous. This is Mr. Shrike and Mr. Goldsmith.
Call me Pete.
3 whiskey. Mr. Doyle inspects meters for the gas company.
Ah, the benefit of a different viewpoint. We newsmen are so limited.
Sure. You know what people say, Mr. Shrike?
No, my good man. What do people say?
We gasmen now take the place of the icemen in the old stories. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean, only too well. Come, Goldsmith, this is no place for us.
Your friend is a nut, I think. Anyway, the wife said to ask you back to eat. Lucy, our kid, is away for a couple of days. Is that okay?
Of course, Pete. Look, you must be tired. How about we sit in the back room?
Yeah, well, I am. The job and that. I'll go first. Right, Miss Ellen. You follow me.
Mr. Gasman, please don't turn my gas off today.
Leading the way to the back room, the cripple used a cane and dragged one foot in a box-shaped shoe. His motions like those of a partially destroyed insect. They found a table and faced each other. Doyle had eyes that failed to balance, a mouth not under his nose, and a chin like a small forehead. Overall, he looked like a composite picture used by film magazines in guessing contests. They stared eye to eye until the strain of wordless communication began to excite them both. Then Doyle labored into speech, a jumble of unintelligible retorts that he had meant to make in the past whenever he'd been insulted. The private curses experience had taught him to swallow. Miss Lonelyhearts turned his face slightly to one side like a priest hearing confession. Then, from his pocket, Doyle took a letter addressed to the newspaper. A letter asking for help. A letter he had never managed to send. Eventually, they held hands under the table. Then they left, both very drunk and very busy. Doyle with the wrongs he had suffered, Miss Lonelyhearts with the triumphant thing his belief and humility had become. They took a cab which dropped them at Doyle's apartment.
I can't help it, woman. Yes, man, got no jelly roll. I know you ain't got no jelly roll.
Why, you... Oh, Miss L, come in, please.
that? Where's the chow?
You drunken bum! And now you, Miss L. Here, let me help you. Right, you two, wash your hands and then we'll begin. And here's a quart of red to start us off. So, how was it? Not too burnt?
Just fine. That good, I'm a bit sleepy.
Oh, a couple of highballs soon fix that. Geez, what bony thighs you got.
Leave the guy alone, will you? Get off it.
What the hell are you talking about?
I don't mind the winks and stuff, but feeling them up, Jesus, ain't I the real pimp and all, even bringing them home for
Why, you dirty creep. Anyway, let's have another. Oh, hell, we're out. As if I didn't know. Hey, you, Doyle. Go get some more gin.
No.
I said go get some more, you bum. You hear me?
And I say no.
Pete, Vane, Mrs. Doyle, please don't fight. He loves you. That's why he acts like that. Pete, give me your hand again.
Hey, what goes with
Now,
you
you
two?
have a big, strong body, Mrs. Doyle. Have you thought that by holding your husband in your arms, you can warm him and give him life? Can take the chill out of his bones, which you can do by letting him conquer you in bed. And he will repay you by flowering and becoming ardent.
For Christ's sake, what is this crap?
Exactly. It is Christ, the forbidden love fruit. And just as man was lost through eating the forbidden fruit, so shall he be saved again by the eating of the fruit of Christ. Pete, go to your wife, embrace her, tell her of your love.
Yeah, sure. Faye, I love you. I love you. You hear that?
Yeah, sure, you old goat. All right, you nut. I forgive you. You still got to go to the drugstore to get some more gin.
Yeah. Right.
Bastard can't even cross the room without he dismantles half the furniture. Wow. That speech, Miss Ellen, with your fly open. I thought I was going to die laughing. Boy, is he jealous. All I have to do is point at some big guy like yourself and say, gee, I'd love to have him love me up. Drives Doyle nuts. So, how about some music, huh? Maybe a dance?
Faye, I'm tired.
Oh, come on, let's smooth.
Faye, I really am tired.
Oh, well, let's rest up a bit. Give me your knee again. And a little kiss for Mama. That's better. Come on, Miss L. Say, what's up with you? Rather have my husband, that it? Then maybe the little boy wants his mama, huh? Okay. Come and put his head on Mama's chest. Come on, Miss L. Kiss them.
No! No! Whore! Whore of Babylon!
No!
Bitch!
Hey,
whore!
Bitch
on heat!
No, oh, you're hurting! No,
bitch!
Please, no!
Bitch!
No.
Bitch!
Miss Lonelyhearts took to his bed yet again, knowing he had failed at the Doyles. Instead of imbuing them with the love of Christ, he had merely written a story for his column. At the same time, how calm he had become. Like some ancient rock, smooth, immovable, and indifferent to time. He began to dream again. He was a statue in a station yard holding up a stopped clock as a train pulled in. He was a hunchback sitting in an inn-yard holding a guitar as a coach rumbled in. Then the sound of the train and coach mingled, and he awoke to find it was someone hammering at his door. He climbed out of bed naked as 5 people entered the room, 2 of whom were Shrike and his wife. Miss Lonelyheart smiled. Shrike could never now be any more than a screaming gull, trying clumsily to lay an egg on the smooth flank of the rock he had now become.
Put your clothes on, my friend. We're going to a party.
Shrike, for 3 days now I've been aware of fireflies and the slop of oceans.
Attaboy!
Eating, too. Lots of crackers.
That is the solitary drinking. My son, there's a game we want to play, and we need you to play it. It's called Every Man His Own Miss Lonely Hearts. Tell you what, if you put your pants on and come quietly, I'll let Mary sit on your knee in the cab. Here he is, folks!
For God's sake, why are you smiling like that?
Hello, Betty.
I've got to talk to you. What's wrong? Are you sick again?
And no, friends, if you please. Please, ladies and gentlemen, we have with us tonight a man you all know and admire, Miss Lonely Hearts of the singing heart and swollen soul. He is here. He is here not only to help you with your moral and spiritual problems, but also to provide you, if need be, with a raison d'etre. Yeah. Right now, some of you perhaps consider yourselves too far gone to help, and that when exposed to his bright flame, you will only smolder and give off a bad smell. But be of good heart, for I am sure he will prevail. And now, the game. Right. Mary, my dear, distribute the writing materials, will you? In my hand here are some of the letters that have arrived for the master during his most recent illness. I will hand one to each of you to answer as best you know how, and from your answer, the master here will diagnose your moral ills, and afterwards lead you in the way of attainment. So, the first.
We have to stay for this?
An old woman whose son died last week. She's 70 and sells pencils for a living. No stockings, wears boots, torn, bleeding feet, room in her eye. But have you, Goldsmith, room in your heart for her? I see you do. Here you are, my boy. Just put down your drink and cigar. And the next.
Please, while there's still time.
Oh. It's a Jim Dandy. A young boy wants to play the violin. Then we discover he's dictating the letter because he's paralyzed. But wait! He has a toy violin he hugs to his chest as he imitates the sound of playing. Oh, who's for this? Anything? You, madam. Yeah. Hey.
Aren't you interested in what he's doing to you?
Betty, what the waves do has little interest for
It
the
is all
rock.
here. A world people with creatures who are strangers to everything but disease and the police. Harried by one, they are hurried by the other. Pain, 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 that only a great spiritual liniment can relieve.
Either you come or I go by myself. Now, please.
Wait. Here's one concerning the master himself. I see he's leaving, but I, his disciple, will read it for you. Dear, etc., blah, 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 blah. So, what sort of dirty skunk are you? When I got home, Faye was crying on the floor, and the neighbors said you tried to rape her and to get the cops, but I said I'd do it myself, you bastard. You ought to have your blah, 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 blah. And signed Doyle. Well, so the master is another Rasputin. Is this merely one more attempt against him by the evil one? I believe it is, folks. I surely believe it.
It was only after they left Shrike's apartment and began to make their way downstairs to the street that Miss Lonelyhearts noticed Betty had on a light blue party dress and realized she must dress for things such as parties. And even the Rock was touched by this. Then they hit the street.
You sure look swell in your blue dress, Betty. Have a soda with me?
A soda? It's a doctor, you mean.
Or a coffee. In here.
2 strawberry sodas, please. Betty, why are you mad at me? It was all Shrike's idea.
Because you're a fool. And because
I quit the job, you know. I haven't been in the office for a week. I'm going to take your advice. Look for something in advertising.
Well, then you should see Bill Wainwright. A good guy. He's in love with me.
I couldn't work for a rival.
Oh, Betty.
Oh, please, don't you understand anything?
Betty, wait!
Taxi! Taxi!
Here, let me. Just drive around a little, will you? Betty, tell me.
It's a baby. Don't you understand? I'm having a baby.
Why? That's wonderful. A new, fresh life. Marry me, Betty.
Marry you? I'm getting an abortion.
No, you can't do that. Please, Betty, marry me.
You said that like you asked me to have a soda.
We could rehabilitate the farm. A life away from the city draws for our baby. Fields, animals. Remember the deer? Say yes, Betty, please. Please, say yes.
I got diamonds on my hands now. Good shoes on my feet. And I always make it somehow. And I keep my women off the street.
So Miss Lonely Hearts begged the party dress to marry him. And in the end, the party dress agreed. He did not feel guilty. He did not feel. His destiny was close in front of him. It only remained to climb back aboard the bed. He dropped Betty outside her apartment. When the door closed behind her, he smiled. After a long night, and toward noon, Miss Lonely Hearts welcomed the arrival of the fever and its attendant heat and mental violence. He fastened his eyes on the Christ at the bottom of the bed, and then allowed the snake finally to uncoil. And suddenly the room came to life and light and ecstasy. And the life and the light was Christ. And the shout of Christ echoed through the innermost cells of his body. And he felt cleaner and fresher. And the great vein that had been starting in his forehead became less swollen. And everything in the room was cleansed. And delight also was in the room. And two rhythms that were gradually becoming one. And they became one. And his identification with God became complete. And God said, "Will you accept it now?" And he replied that he would, and immediately began to plan his future conduct as Miss Lonely Hearts, a future in which he submitted drafts of his column to God, who approved his every thought. Then the doorbell rang. He climbed out of bed and went into the hall. It was Pete Doyle carrying something in a newspaper, making his way slowly up the stairs. And he knew God had sent Doyle as a sign, so that he could perform a miracle and have tangible proof of his own conversion. He would embrace the cripple and make him whole, even as he, a spiritual cripple, had been made whole. Miss Lonely Hearts rushed down the stairs to meet Doyle, his arms spread wide. Doyle put his hand inside his package and shouted a warning, but Miss Lonely Hearts continued his charge. He did not understand the cripple's shout and simply heard it as a cry for help from desperate Harold S., Catholic mother, broken-hearted, sick of it all. Doyle turned to escape, but was too slow. As they were struggling, Betty came through the street door and called for them to stop. The cripple, seeing his escape cut off, tried to get rid of the package. He pulled his hand out, and the gun went off. Miss Lonely Hearts fell, dragging the cripple with him. They both rolled part of the way down the stairs.
Miss Lonely Hearts, by Nathaniel West, was dramatized for radio by Vincent McInerney. The narrator was played by Nigel Anthony, Miss Lonely Hearts by William Hope, and Shrike by Bill Wallace. Goldsmith was Bradley Lavelle, Betty Catherine Furshpan, Fay by Maggie McCarthy, and Mary was Bonnie Hurren. Jed was Stephen Garlick, Simpson was Nigel Carrington, and Doyle Ed Bishop. Miss Lonely Hearts was by Sean McLaughlin.
The Sunday Play. We present Barbara Lee Hunt and Andrew Sachs in My Dearest Angel by R.F. Delderfield, adapted for radio by Cynthia Pugh. My Dearest Angel.
Oh, one small ornament. A girl with lamb dancing.
China shepherdess. What is the mark, please?
The mark? Oh, kind of crossed swords here.
It is Meissen. And the next?
Baby holding daisy chains.
A baby. A cherub with floral pattern. And on the table, please?
Musical box. Bit of Swiss nonsense, I reckon.
It is German.
It is? Well, then maybe you'll recognize the tune. Listen, Chilling.
Oh, no, you must not.
Oh, go on, why not? There's nobody around. Listen. You do know it, then?
Yes, I know it. My mother would sing it sometimes. It is a very old tune.
Hello. Hello. Here, take a look out there. That's their luggage arriving, isn't it? And both of them on the spot to check it. Princes, the pair of them, yet they come trotting down to count their baggage. Come and look.
Oh, he is so noble, so beautiful.
Which of them's a favourite?
Please?
I heard there was an outside chance she was going to marry one of them. Which one?
Oh, but how foolish you are. She will marry the taller, the Prince Albert.
Ah, wait, it's not that certain. They were saying in the still room last night it was all a rumour and she won't marry either of them.
Oh, how could she fail to fall in love with him? He is beautiful.
Beautiful? Well, I don't know. He's not bad looking for a foreigner. And there's a lot more to marrying the Queen of England, my girl. I heard his country's about the size of Windsor Park and he didn't have two farthings to rub together. No, take it from me, Shilling. When it comes to marrying, it'll have to be a king.
Then why are we so engaged?
Eh?
This room, this ring. It was here that he stayed when he came here 3 years ago.
He did? How long are they supposed to be staying?
That is not our business. Our instructions were to complete the inventory before dusk.
Oh, you're right there.
Someone is coming. Quick, we must be at our work.
Item. 3 volumes of engravings, bound in calf, metal fastenings.
Your Highness.
Your Highness.
These apartments, they are in your charge?
No, Your Highness. They're the responsibility of the housekeeper while Her Majesty is in residence of Windsor.
So, and when she is in London or on a progress elsewhere?
The responsibility is then divided between the Lord Steward and the Chamberlain, Your Highness.
So, but you were engaged in making an inventory of the chattels, were you not?
With respect, Your Highness, this apartment was not in use until 4 days ago, when Her Majesty returned to Windsor from London.
The checking of the items of furniture is a part of your regular duties?
No, Your Highness.
But this is not done regularly?
It has not been done since I took up my duties at Windsor, Your Highness.
Allow me to look at that list. Thank you. Item 506, the Meissen Shepherdess. Yeah. It is the figurine on the center shelf?
Yes, Your Highness.
You will please hand it to me to inspect. You have it listed as Meissen, but it is not Meissen. It is the work of an inferior Dresden factory. You'd better strike out the word Meissen.
As Your Highness instructs.
You have a fondness for this kind of music, Fräulein?
It is an air from my homeland, Your Highness.
You've been home to Germany since you took service with Her Majesty in England?
No, Your Highness.
You are homesick for Bavaria. It is Bavaria, is it not?
Wasserburg, Your Highness.
Ah, Wasserburg. I know Wasserburg. It is beautiful at all times of the year. But perhaps you are happy to live in England?
Yes, indeed, Your Highness. I am proud of my position here, Your Highness.
I was in Germany only 3 days ago, but already I am homesick. This organ. It is a fine instrument. You will continue making the inventory. It is very necessary that periodical checks should be made in every household.
Who's that?
The Baroness Lehzen, I think, and Lord Melbourne.
We could call it the case of the disappearing prince. Or Hunt the suitor.
The Lord Stewart is grossly at fault in this instance.
Who is His Highness, madam?
Well. You too. You may go.
Very good, madam.
Very good, madam.
This instrument is much in need of attention. My Lord Melbourne.
Your Highness.
It would not appear to have been played since my visit to Windsor more than 3 years ago.
Accept our deepest apologies for our apparent incivility, Your Highness. The organ is not the only fault in our system here. To be frank, Your Highness, we mislaid you.
The equerry announced your arrival, Your Highness, and we at once assembled at the sovereign's entrance. The Lord Chamberlain had strict instructions to receive you and conduct your entire party to your suite.
The Lord Chamberlain was not at fault, Baroness.
Then the Lord Stewart?
My brother Ernst and our attendants were conducted to our quarters punctiliously on arrival. It was I who turned aside and made my own way here. It was the part of Windsor Castle I remembered with affection, particularly the organ. You see, Lord Melbourne, Her Majesty the Queen graciously allowed me to play the instrument at my leisure. I was not informed that she has since withdrawn her permission.
I am quite sure that Her Majesty will extend the courtesy during your present visit. I believe you've met the Baroness Lehzen, former governess, now private secretary to Her Majesty.
Your Highness.
And may I present my own private secretary, Mr. George Anson.
Your Highness.
To be truthful, Her Majesty was not expecting you to arrive until after darkness. But since there is a bright fire here, and since Your Highness records this apartment with pleasure, why not make yourself comfortable here for a spell? Mr. Anson, ask the steward to notify His Highness Prince Ernst, and tell him that our visitors will take their refreshment in here.
No refreshment, my lord.
No refreshment?
I'm the worst sailor in the world, Lord Melbourne. Tomorrow my appetite will return, but today I beg you, no dinner, no supper, until I've made my peace with the English Channel.
The crossing was as bad as that?
Oh, it was worse, my lord.
I know the Channel at this season. I'm just such a sailor myself. Baroness, oblige me by presenting my compliments to Her Majesty, and tell her that I am with His Highness in the southeast wing, that His Highness has no appetite but prefers to play the organ. Inform her that I will attend upon His Highness personally in the meantime.
Your Highness, my lord.
Anson?
My lord?
Find a housekeeper. And bid her send a servant with a carafe of seltzer water and a touch of lemon, and quick about it. There's a good fellow.
At once, my lord.
Now, sir, come and warm yourself. The Channel and the Dover packet is safely behind you.
You're very kind, my Lord Melbourne.
It is 3 years since you were here, I believe.
3 years in recorded time.
Yes.
Much longer in experience. My own, but far more so on Her Majesty's part.
Oh, come now, that's not so long at your age.
'Tis long enough to destroy the fabric of dreams.
You are under the impression Her Majesty does not welcome your visit?
Why should she? It was not Her Majesty who proposed it.
Oh, come, Your Highness. I am aware, of course, that it was arranged a long time ago.
By the parties of the state. By my uncle Leopold and by my father. By those who've set their hearts upon this marriage since we were children. But let us not pretend that circumstances have not changed very dramatically since the proposal was first made, my lord. Or that Her Majesty's inclinations have not changed with those circumstances. When I was last here, each of us had a foreseeable destiny. But her destiny is now a fact, is it not?
And it is to determine your own that you challenge the Channel a second time.
How long is a man justified in awaiting his destiny, Lord Melbourne? Coburg is a petty dukedom. It could be swallowed up in one of Her Majesty's counties. Yet in Coburg, we still have pride. And does it seem unreasonable, even to the Prime Minister of a realm as powerful as Britain, that I should seek a decision, and that within days?
The seltzer water, my lord.
Oh, thank you, Shilling. Put the tray there. I will serve His Highness.
Very good, my lord.
Now, a reinforcement to the distressed garrison, Your Highness. Seltzer, a touch of lemon. There. That should restore you.
Thank you. You are most kind.
Not at all, Your Highness. We all of us have our problems. No doubt you've heard how graciously this young, inexperienced sovereign has accepted the cares and responsibilities to which she was called at the age of 18 years. And happily those reports are true. She is gracious. She is also warm-hearted, gay, and eager at all times to do what she considers the correct thing by her ministers and people. She is truthful, firm in her decisions, yet willing to listen to the voice of experience. And she has made a very great impression here upon diplomats and ambassadors, upon her ministers and household. All these things are in her favor, yet none of us must overlook the factor that overrides them all.
And what is that?
She is a woman with a woman's heart and a woman's emotional instability. For myself, I've always found it impossible to coerce any woman into making the most trivial decision. How much more formidable, then, is the task of urging upon a queen the necessity of making the most difficult decision of her life.
You're trying to tell me that my cousin is still undecided as regards the suitability of the match?
No, sir. I am trying to tell you that Her Majesty is in a state of hopeless indecision as regards the subject of marriage to anyone. Yourself not excepted.
In other words, my royal cousin has made up her mind not to marry at all.
That was certainly my impression I got by last audience. But that was, let me see, at least 4 hours ago.
4 hours, you say?
Shortly after midday.
Oh, then it is manifestly clear that she has no intention.
Your Highness, it is very far from clear. May I give you further advice? Informal advice, but as someone who wishes you well.
I should esteem any such advice, my lord.
Go to your suite at once. Change into your newest and most spectacular uniform and return to this apartment unescorted in 15 minutes.
You're serious in this proposal, sir?
I'm very much in earnest, Your Highness.
Oh, very well, my lord. It shall be as you wish. I am so far committed that even such a step as this can scarcely matter. My lord?
Bates. Conduct His Highness to his suite at once.
Thank you, Lord Melbourne.
Oh, Lord Melbourne.
Yes?
Lord Melbourne, please do not go, Lord Melbourne. Her Majesty has expressed a wish that you remain here and see her at once. Her Majesty declares that...
You may go. Kindly ensure that we are not disturbed. I wish to speak to the Prime Minister alone. You understand? Alone.
Your Majesty, my duty compels me to point out that in no circumstances should you incline towards a hasty decision. There are certain factors...
Listen, I command you to withdraw. We are to remain undisturbed until we have said everything that has to be said.
As you wish, Your Majesty.
You were here alone with him? He has returned to his suite.
With respect, madam, you were very well aware of that before you made up your mind to enter. I earnestly hope you were not listening at the keyhole.
There is no keyhole. Had there been one, I confess I should have been tempted to use it. Why did he come here, to this room, and almost as soon as he set foot in Windsor?
I suspect that you are also aware of the answer to that question, Your Majesty.
Yes, I believe I am. Could we talk as we talked when we began together, Lord Melbourne? I am much in need of someone in whom I can truly confide.
I am at your service, Your Majesty, as always. Now and to the end of my days.
So much has happened since Albert and Ernst and I were together in this room. Since we sat there and played the organ, and afterwards sat at that table and looked at engravings together. It was then that they told me all about their lives in their beloved Rosenau. And that was why he found his way to this room at once, you know. I fear that his doing that has made things much more difficult than they need have been.
And how is that?
It has revealed how deeply he feels about
the arrangement?
Yes, the arrangement. But I had no hand in that. I never made a single decision about anything. Until that wonderful morning. The morning they woke me up at Kensington and told me I was queen. And I dressed and came down. And you were there to make it all so pleasant and so easy. You must tell me, Lord Melbourne. You must help me to find the right words, the right formula. I gave no promise to Albert. It was others who half promised on my behalf. Now, that is the plain truth, is it not?
Yes, I suppose that is the truth as most reasonable people would see it.
And he is reasonable. He would understand, wouldn't he? He will be able to see how different things are now that I am queen. Now that I am making my own decisions every day.
Why do you find this particular decision so painful, then?
Because I cannot bear to hurt him. To send him away as the prince who came to England to give his heart to a queen who looked at it and then handed it back to him. Could it not be pointed out, impartially and objectively, that there was no general wish on the part of either government or people for the queen to marry at this stage? And that with a sovereign as young as 20 years, there is no immediacy as regards an heir.
All that is true, ma'am. But perhaps not the crux of the matter.
Then tell me what it is. You are not only my Prime Minister, you are my truest friend, and I am very much in need of guidance and reassurance in this matter.
I fear there is only one source of guidance in a matter such as this.
The welfare of the realm.
No, ma'am. The dictates of the heart.
This is your final and considered opinion?
It is indeed, ma'am.
Then you have very much simplified the situation, Lord Melbourne.
I have?
Why, yes. If I can set aside the obligations of my rank and act as my heart urges me to act, I fancy I shall get through this business with very little trouble to anyone.
That is most encouraging news, ma'am. Will you pay me the compliment of rehearsing the ultimatum you propose to give him?
I shall tell him that, in spite of the persistence of our Uncle Leopold and others in the matter of a match between us, I cannot persist in it without the impetus of a deep and abiding love for the man I am to marry. And the fact is, Lord Melbourne, such impetus as there was has long since spent itself. I am not only heart-free, but eager to remain so.
Indefinitely, ma'am?
For at least 3 or 4 years, until my affections are fixed elsewhere, or reasons of state urge me upon a different kind of marriage. Perhaps even a loveless one.
You will tell the prince that in so many words?
In an audience I intend to grant him after supper tonight. I think I shall begin by reminding him that any encouragement he derived from his visit here 3 years ago was due to immaturity on my part. That I was a young, impressionable girl with... Who is there? I gave Leighton the strictest instructions we should remain undisturbed.
His Highness Prince Francis Charles Augustus Albert Emmanuel of Saxe-Coburg-Gotha.
Albert. Oh, Albert.
Your most gracious Majesty, allow me to kiss your hand.
A little more to the right, Shilling. Yes, that will do, I think. Personally, I prefer the original picture, but Her Majesty gave implicit instructions that the landscape was to occupy a prominent position in the room.
What is Shilling doing on that step-ladder?
She is complying with Her Majesty's instructions, Baroness. You may come down now, Shilling.
Her Majesty's instructions?
Regarding the disposition of furnishings in this suite. Her Majesty instructed me to superintend the changes personally. There they are in writing.
Oh, I see. You may leave us, Shilling.
Very good, madam.
The Queen's artistic taste would appear to be suffering a severe relapse. Where did this amateurish daub come from?
I am told it is a painting of Rosenau, the former home of the Duchess of Kent.
In other words, His Highness Prince Albert's home.
That would seem to be the reason it was specifically selected.
I see. You had conversation with Her Majesty before she went riding before breakfast?
Yes, Baroness. I was with her for a few moments before the grooms brought the horses round.
She paid you the compliment of confiding her immediate intentions?
She had no occasion to. I have eyes in my head.
So?
She is head over heels in love with the prince.
Pah! A young woman of her position, barely 20 years of age. What does she know of love? And what do any of us know of this young man? We respect his lineage. We are told that he devotes himself to ornithology and similar time-wasting pursuits. But for a destiny such as that...
Oh, my dear Baroness, Her Majesty is not much concerned with his vice-regal qualifications. She is in love with a pair of blue eyes, a pair of broad shoulders, and a handsome set of whiskers. At 20, what woman looks further?
But you have no proof of this? He is amiable and personable. She likes to dance, to ride, even to flirt, perhaps. But she is anchored to something a great deal more impressive. All her life I have been at pains to make her aware of this.
Perhaps you had occasion to instruct her in the works of Shakespeare. The Tempest, possibly.
What has the Queen's infatuation with a German princeling to do with the Tempest?
No more than Miranda had to do with Ferdinand before she set eyes on him. I might call him a thing divine, for nothing natural I ever saw so noble.
It goes on as my soul prompts it. Spirit, fine spirit, I will free thee within 2 days for this.
Oh, my lord, I was joking. It was foolish talk.
Spare your blushes, Lady Littleton. Every lady in the court is speculating. And as for the men, I've told all the Windsor grooms are laying odds on the match.
I do not think it becomes any of us to joke about such a subject, Lord Melbourne. We had better leave, Lady Littleton.
Not immediately, Baroness. My audience is for 12 midday, and it is now but 2 minutes past. The punctuality of princes is, after all, a fable.
A private audience with Her Majesty?
My dear Baroness, there is nothing sinister in a monarch and a prime minister conferring in private.
But you have been granted 3 private audiences in 5 days. It has encouraged a flood of gossip.
Gossip? That is a very trivial word. Let us call it wholesome speculation.
Her Majesty the Queen.
I shall not wait to be dismissed like a child sent to bed. Precede me, Lady Littleton. I find this situation intolerable, my lord, and I intend to bring it to Her Majesty's notice at the first opportunity.
Her Majesty the Queen.
Your Majesty.
I am unpunctual again, dear Lord Melbourne.
On the contrary, ma'am, I myself was somewhat delayed, and a moment ago you would have been entitled to say, I have only just escaped being kept waiting.
Oh, Lord Melbourne, how I envy you. You are never, never lost for words.
It is a common failing with politicians, ma'am.
No, I mean it. Truly mean it. You were surprised when I sent for you yet again?
No, ma'am. I must admit that I was not in the least surprised.
I did consider consulting others. Mamma, dear Leadson, and I even began a letter to Uncle Leopold, but to tell the truth...
Ma'am?
This was a moment in my life that I did not wish to share with anyone but you.
Ma'am.
What is it? Have I said something clumsy again? Have I displeased you?
No, ma'am, no, indeed not. Rather something to make me as proud as a peacock.
Well, then, the fact is, I have a good deal changed my opinion as to the possibility of marriage.
I am delighted to hear it, Your Majesty.
But you don't seem surprised. You are surprised, are you not?
As a subject, yes, ma'am. As Prime Minister, I'm not permitted to register surprise.
There is, however, a number of issues about which I should hear your views at once. I should require Parliament to grant my husband £50,000 a year.
Forgive me, Your Majesty, but ought we not to consider the husband before we discuss the settlement?
Lord Melbourne, pray let us understand one another. During the last year, you have repeatedly assured me that Parliament is extremely anxious that I should marry as soon as possible.
That is so, ma'am.
And that anxiety stems from the necessity of an heir?
Quite so, ma'am.
Very well, then. You may take it that we are willing to resolve the situation by marrying Prince Albert of Saxe-Coburg with the least possible delay.
It is accomplished already, then?
Accomplished?
I assume that you broached the matter with His Highness.
Broached it?
Mm-hmm.
My dear Lord Melbourne, I have not even hinted at it. You are first to know, the very first.
You have said nothing to the Prince as yet.
Nothing whatever.
Then, ma'am, and again with respect, do you not feel it to be this excellent young man's due to be acquainted with your decision at once?
Why, naturally. And now that I have told you, we can address ourselves to the task of composing the letter.
The letter?
A formal proposal that will set all his anxieties at rest.
This is how you propose to acquaint him of your decision?
How else? Are you telling me it would be improper to commit my acceptance of Prince Albert's suit to paper?
In Your Majesty's case, it would be quite proper. Nevertheless, it would be altogether wrong.
But why?
Because, if I'm not mistaken, Your Majesty, this is no mere alliance. Perhaps it began as one, but please God, it has since burgeoned into something a great deal healthier. To be frank, ma'am, you have lost your heart to this young man. So why should you be afraid to admit it to a subject who, more than any other person in the realm, rejoices in the fact?
Oh.
Forgive me, ma'am. Perhaps I presume. I have advised you on many matters, great and small, but it may be that I am not a fit person to advise you on something as delicate as this. Your mamma, the Duchess, perhaps, or the Baroness Leadson.
I have not yet dismissed you, Lord Melbourne.
Your pleasure, ma'am.
All you say is quite true, Lord Melbourne. I have indeed lost my heart to Albert. But is it unnatural of me that I should want to hide the fact from you of all people? The truth is, I am ashamed.
Ashamed, ma'am?
Ashamed of the weeks and months of temporization, all the half-truths in my letters to my Uncle Leopold, all the excuses made to you whenever the subject of marriage was raised.
You can make light of them now, Your Majesty.
I am not joking, my lord. I ask for nothing more than to share my life with Albert. I am very deeply in love with him. And this has opened my eyes to the faults in my own character, faults I never would acknowledge before. Now I can see that it would be cowardly to hide behind a form of proposal such as I intended. Will you do me one more service?
Your Majesty.
Send Albert to me yourself, without fuss. Let him come here to this suite, where we were once happy and where I so dismally failed to discover what manner of man he was. Will you do that, and ensure that we have a few minutes quite alone?
With all my heart. And a prayer for the kind of happiness you deserve.
Oh, dear God. Grant me the wisdom to say the right thing to him. This is surely the most difficult moment of my life. Oh, and yet how foolish I am. I am not going to the scaffold. I am awaiting my dear, dear love. Oh. That little tune. How charming it is. One of his favorites. You may come in, Albert. I'm quite alone.
Your servant, cousin.
You think it indiscreet of me to receive you without a chaperone?
You can do whatever you choose, cousin. You are a queen.
That is so, yes. I could have ridden ahead of the equerries this morning and asked you to follow. I did think of that, and I wish now that I had done so. It would have been easier.
Easier?
To say what I have to say, Albert.
There's no reason why it should be painful for you, cousin. There's no need to say it at all.
Yes, Albert, indeed there is. I could have written it, but Lord Melbourne made me see that to do so would have been cowardly. It would help, I think, if you were to call me by my name. I have always called you by yours. It seemed natural, since I always thought of you as Albert. And I did think of you very affectionately after that first visit of yours. I recall now that I thought of you every day.
It is kind of you to say so, Victoria. But I fear it is not strictly true. You've had so many more important things to think about in the last 2 years.
They do not seem very important to me now, Albert.
I do not think there can be anything more important to the Queen of England than her responsibilities as sovereign.
Oh, but I assure you there is. If that monarch is a woman, a girl, that is why we are here together at this moment, alone, Albert.
You have something to say to me? Something particular? I had concluded by now...
Would you have the goodness, Albert, to look beyond me, to look anywhere but straight at me, the way you are doing?
Forgive me. I will look out of the window. There. Is that better?
No, it is not. I thought it might be, but it is not. I cannot see the kindness in your eyes. Albert, you must be aware of the reason I sent for you. You cannot believe I summoned you only to send you away. Albert, dear Albert, it would make me too happy if you would consent to marry me.
Oh, Victoria, beloved, liebes Frauchen, gutes Weibchen, it has happened.
My dear, dear Albert.
Oh, this is no occasion for tears.
Yes, it is of joy and of relief.
Relief?
Why not?
Suppose you had rejected me out of hand.
Oh, is there a man who would dare? You could have sent me to the Tower of London, could you not?
Oh, but it is such a relief. You see, I knew you were angry. You never showed it, but I knew you were angry inside. And the moment before you came in just now, I was so afraid of what your pride might make you do for being kept without knowing, when everyone at court knew why you were here.
Oh, it is nothing, nothing. For you, a man must be prepared to wait. And now you must yourself wait a little, that I may accustom myself to the reality of all I see in your eyes and hear from your lips. But I shall succeed. That I do promise you, beloved. I shall succeed in making you as happy as you deserve to be. In body and soul, I shall be your slave. Loyal, true, treu und fest.
This I know. I think I have always known. You are so tall, Albert, and I so little. But wait, there is a hassock. There. So. Now I am as tall as you.
Das Auge sieht Himmel offen. Es schwelgt das Herz in Seligkeit.
What is that you say?
It's by the poet Schiller. And translated, heaven opens on the ravished eye. The heart is all entranced with bliss. I think Schiller must have known a moment such as this.
Enter.
Your Highness is chocolate.
Ah, His Highness Prince Ernst has taken his?
In his apartment, Your Highness. He instructed me to say that he would join Your Highness immediately.
Fräulein.
Your Highness?
This watercolor. It was not here when I found you making the inventory in October?
No, Your Highness. It was one of the items Her Majesty ordered to be placed here immediately after the inventory was checked.
Her Majesty ordered this to be hung here?
Yes, Your Highness. At the time, the organ was curtained. Several additions were made at the time. Would that be all, Your Highness?
You recognize this landscape, Schilling?
No, Your Highness.
It is a painting of my birthplace, Rosenau. A very bad painting, I fear. It does less than justice to Rosenau.
I am sorry, Your Highness.
You're not required to apologize, Schilling. It was not you that painted it, I trust. Touch the spring of the musical box. You may remain and listen to it. Oh, Ernst, come in.
The band of the Grenadier Guards have assembled to play me out.
But I know this tune. So you should, Ernst. You heard it often enough when we were visiting here, boys. I recall that both you and Her Majesty preferred it to any music I was able to coax from that bellows over there.
No. But before that, surely it is one of our folk songs?
Yes, it is. It is always the simplest melodies that go straight to the heart. Most of the greater works don't get that far. They remain in the head. Fräulein Schilling, here is a present for you.
Oh, no, I dare not, Your Highness.
Take it, and I myself will undertake to delete it from the inventory. But I advise you only play it in solitude. Then it will remind you of home, and pleasantly so.
Your Highness is too kind. Too kind.
You may leave us now.
Very good, Your Highness. Thank you, Your Highness.
She is German.
From Wasserburg.
Ah, Wasserburg. We are all three a long way from home, Albert.
Yes, too far. But she's not to be pitied. She's had more than 3 years to get used to it.
It will not take you so long, Albert. 6 months, and you will have all but forgotten us.
Do you believe that of me, Ernst?
Oh, come, I was joking. Of course you will never forget us, but you have a splendid future here. More splendid than either you or I would have thought possible when we birds nested in the woods and coverts of home. That time could not last forever, Albert. We had to grow up, take our ways. I shall miss you as much as you miss me, and more.
As much, Ernst, but not more. You will still have Rosenau. You recognize this picture?
Oh, with some difficulty. How did it come here?
Victoria put it here. It was her way of trying to cure my homesickness.
So, it was a generous impulse, Albert.
She's full of generous impulses. Only since we are married am I learning to appreciate them.
You must forget about home, Albert. You cannot look back now. You are no longer a German.
I will always be German.
You can only succeed here if you learn to become an Englishman. Oh, that will be difficult, I know. And your old tutor, Baron Stockmar, knows it too, although he would never admit as much. But you will achieve it, Albert. I know that. And when it is a reality, you will come into your full inheritance as the arbiter of a great nation's policy.
How little you know of the British. You or Stockmar. Listen. That's the voice of the British. Strident, arrogant, terrifyingly self-assured, you understand? Well, there's no room in it for culture or self-improvement. It says, it roars, we are God's chosen. You are either with us or behind us. Not against us, because nothing opposes us that lives. This we proved by our handling of Bonaparte.
You are not only with them, Albert, you are at their head.
No, Ernst, my dear fellow. I'm perched on the tail of the lion. And it has only to whisk that tail to send me flying.
The tail is not lively enough to dislodge you, Albert. Now, no matter how much self-doubt you have now, the time will come when you will be leading that lion, and I shall be there to see it.
Come in, Baron Stockmar.
Your Highness. Your party is ready to leave now, Prince Ernst.
Thank you, Stockmar. Well, God bless you, Albert.
And you, Ernst.
Indeed?
That does not shock you?
No, my prince. It does not even surprise me overmuch.
Not?
You must cease to regard this trivial circumstance as a personal betrayal on your part.
But Her Majesty came to me expecting to be loved as a person, a woman. When I realized that I was incapable of rendering more than mere affection...
Did you anticipate that it would be otherwise?
Oh, with all my heart I did. I prayed that it might be so. Can I not make you understand how wretched this failure makes me? It is gross disloyal to admit it, even to you.
Nevertheless, it is important that you should discuss it with someone. Is a physical matter?
No. If it were so, I could accept it unquestioningly. There's nothing amiss with our physical relationship. But surely there should be a degree of intellectual compatibility between man and wife.
Bless you, my prince. Do you suppose that either your royal uncle or myself had any great expectations of Her Majesty's intellectual attainments? But now that your destiny is accomplished, is this so important?
It is important to me, Baron. How is it possible to attain personal happiness under this handicap?
I do not remember that I ever promised you happiness, Your Highness. Satisfaction, yes. Providing that you put your duty before everything. And how should that be difficult after my years of training and seeing who you are?
Who am I, Baron? Tell me.
You are the man with whom the Queen of England is desperately in love, Your Highness. That being so, Her Majesty being a healthy and very impressionable young woman, it should not take you very long to find the correct formula for both felicity and power.
You imply that I should use my physical ascendancy as a key to power?
Why not?
Is that honorable?
It is your right.
Perhaps. Yet it seems to me to be a shabby backstairs way to begin a marriage.
You must cease to regard this marriage as a bourgeois partnership. It was never meant to be, and it can never become so.
Yet it should become so. You have taught me so many things, Baron Stockmar. But this is something I would have preferred not to learn. Let us pursue it no further. Let us shake hands before one of us says something to sour what has been, for me at least, the most rewarding relationship of my life.
Oh, no. You cannot be rid of me as easily as that, Your Highness. The time will come when I can no longer be of service to you. But that time is not yet, I think.
Ever since I was a child, you and my Uncle Leopold behind you determined that I should set out to look for the Holy Grail. Now that I'm started on my quest, do you not owe me more explicit directions? What am I seeking? And if I find it, what shall I do with it?
Only your own conscience can answer those questions, my prince.
Does not seem to me a question of conscience, Baron. We are faced with practical issues, and I must contend with them until the end of my life. How does a young man, armed with nothing but a little book learning, achieve anything in a strange land, among strangers, and with a wife who mistakes the shadow of regal authority for its substance?
Through the acquisition of power.
But I have no power.
I have shown you the means of acquiring it.
For whom do you ring?
For the present source of that power.
For the Baroness Litzen.
Litzen? You rang, Your Highness?
Inform the Baroness Litzen that His Highness will receive Mr. Anson at once.
Very good, my lord. Litzen? Anson? But Anson is the private secretary of Lord Melbourne. I had the greatest difficulty in persuading Her Majesty not to appoint him to that position in my household.
Your Highness must be prepared to yield in this particular.
Appoint Anson as my private secretary? That would be to identify myself for all time with Lord Melbourne's party.
I assure Your Highness that I know what I am about. You will never regret this choice.
Sir?
Mr. Anson, permit me to wish you happiness and success in your enviable appointment to the household of His Highness.
Thank you, sir. No effort will be lacking on my part to render His Highness devoted service.
Then I shall leave you to get acquainted and complete my arrangements to dispatch my heavy luggage by the Dover stage. I will show myself out. There is much to be done and little time to spare.
You're qualified to begin your duties at once, Mr. Anson?
Yes, Your Highness. Her Majesty informed me that Your Highness had expressed an interest in some projected landscape developments on the south aspect of the great park. I took the liberty of consulting the forestry department yesterday and obtaining these estimates together with a provisional plan. Perhaps Your Highness would care to inspect them at leisure, and later allow me to present you to the architect concerned.
I should like that very much, Mr. Anson.
I'll spread the plan on the table. So, Your Highness would care to inspect the provisional drawings?
Sure. It would appear to be a most ambitious project.
It is indeed, Your Highness.
You have a preference for outdoor life, Mr. Anson?
Whenever my duties permit, Your Highness. With my Lord Melbourne, I spent a very great deal of time in London. That was, of course, unavoidable, as the sittings in the House of Parliament often continue into the small hours.
And very tedious work, no doubt?
Sometimes almost unbearably so, Your Highness.
Doubtless you sat through the debate relating to the Prince Consort's marriage allowance?
I did indeed, Your Highness.
Have no fear, Anson. I shall not ask you to comment. Ours will be a non-political relationship, I assure you. Indeed, that must be obvious to you already.
With respect, Your Highness, there are a great many matters relating to the royal establishment that stand in desperate need of close personal attention. No doubt Your Highness will occupy himself with matters of that nature.
I look forward to doing so. The question is, where does one begin?
Perhaps with a detailed and critical survey starting with Windsor, sir.
No, Anson, I think not. One should surely begin by endeavoring to establish confidence among the men with whom one is obliged to work and associate.
Confidence can be established in the right quarters without much difficulty, sir. There is a very trite proverb, but it is apt, I think.
And the proverb?
When in Rome, Your Highness.
I begin to think we shall suit one another very well, Mr. Anson.
I most earnestly hope so, Your Highness. The English reserve is not invulnerable. There is an easy way through to the English governing classes.
And what may that be? You're not going to tell me it's the arts.
Well, an art of a kind, sir. Horsemanship.
Horsemanship?
Even the notorious blackguard is tolerated if he happens to be a first-class steeplechaser.
You ride to hounds yourself, Anson?
Oh, whenever I have the opportunity, sir, but I am only third class, I fear. If Your Highness has a fancy to hunt...
There is a bay gelding in the Windsor stable, 17 hands or thereabouts, with a white blaze on the head.
Oh, Xerxes. And he belonged to the Marquis of Queensberry.
The animal has something of a reputation, I believe.
On New Year's Day, he threw and killed one of Her Majesty's grooms, and has since savaged two others. I believe Xerxes is to be sent back as unmanageable.
You have my personal command to retain that horse on my behalf, Anson.
You wish to buy Xerxes, Your Highness?
Possibly. And you shall accompany me to the last hunt of the season on Tuesday, is it not? The matter is to remain strictly confidential, you understand?
Yes, Your Highness. And these landscape plans, Your Highness?
Well, we will attend to them in due course, Mr. Anson. In the meantime, we must qualify, must we not?
What is the time, Anson?
5 minutes to 10, Your Highness.
Oh, is it my move?
Yes, Your Highness. Pawn to Queen's Fourth.
And now, Lady Littleton, can you tell me what this picture represents?
It is Conway Castle in Wales, Your Majesty.
You are correct. And what can you tell us of this most distinguished edifice?
Your move, Your Highness.
It was built by Edward I in order to consolidate his conquest of the Welsh. It was the scene of King Richard II's surrender to Bolingbroke in
1399.
Well done. Who is ahead, Lately?
You are, Your Majesty, a clear lead of 3 marks.
Baroness?
Oh, I must not take unfair advantage. I have been there.
Have I, Lately?
No, Your Majesty, I think not. Or if you have, indeed you were too young to take notice.
Your Majesty?
It is Melrose Abbey.
Correct. Oh, Your Majesty, this is not fair. None of us is blessed with your remarkable memory.
Melrose Abbey stands on the River Tweed. It was the largest of Scottish abbeys and is associated with Sir Walter Scott. It has some remarkable windows and stonework and a number of interesting tombs. It is much visited by tourists. His Highness is asleep.
His Highness has had a very arduous day, Your Majesty.
It is not necessary to make excuses for the Prince, Mr. Anson.
No, ma'am, indeed not, ma'am.
What o'clock is it, Lately?
It is 4 minutes after 10 o'clock, Your Majesty.
Everybody has our permission to retire.
Your Majesty.
Your Majesty.
His Royal Highness also excuses you, Mr. Anson.
Your Majesty. Something is broken, my dear.
It was the fire tongs. But the entire heavens could have fallen without you being in the least aware of the fact.
So. Has everyone gone to bed?
Oh, you were asleep. You snored.
I snored? Oh, that's not remarkable, is it? Many people snore when they are asleep. With respect, I can recall occasions when you have yourself snored. A very gentle snore, it is true. Yet I do not recall resorting to the clash of fire irons in order to waken you.
You are not even ashamed of yourself.
Ashamed?
That you should fall asleep over the chessboard in the presence of the ladies of the bedchamber is bad enough. That you should interrupt me with that uncouth noise is intolerable. I do not recall in the whole of my life having suffered a greater humiliation.
Then you have been singularly fortunate, my dear.
You do not intend to ask my pardon?
No, madam.
Nor to admit that it was a fault?
If it was, it is you who committed it.
I?
It was you who presided over the tedium that caused me to fall asleep.
Albert.
Do not summon the servants, madam.
You are giving orders to the Queen, sir.
I am giving the Queen good advice, ma'am. Would it not help us both if we could take advantage of a rare moment of privacy and talk as man and wife rather than monarch and subject?
We can discuss anything you choose, Albert. Always, you understand. But first, I think it would be a gentlemanly act on your part to ask my pardon.
For sleeping? For the snore? Oh, very well, then, I ask it.
Oh, my dear, this is childish of us. I was indeed hurt and angry. But I would be far more desolate if we quarreled. Really quarreled. Come, you may kiss me.
Perhaps you will want to withdraw that invitation when you hear what I have to say, Victoria.
But you have already apologized.
That was the price you asked for an audience, my dear.
But that is not an apology at all.
Madam, I do beseech you, let us come straight to the point at issue.
The point at issue is your own boorish conduct, Albert.
No, madam. It is far more complex and arises from the purgatory you oblige me to endure each night in this room.
Purgatory? You mean you do not approve of Latson and Lady Littleton sharing such privacy as we enjoy? You would prefer us to be quite alone?
You've not begun to understand what I'm trying to say to you.
Indeed, I have not as yet.
You as queen, and I as your consort. We are surely required to set an example, are we not?
Yes.
I am not referring to our conduct in public and our bearing on occasions of state. Then you are a queen indeed. Then I'm proud of you, your graciousness, your simplicity and goodness. It is our private and personal life to which I refer.
You mean our marriage? When we are alone? When I am wholly your wife?
No, not that.
How can I make you understand?
Understand what, Albert?
Well, there is a third estate in marriage, my dearest. A marriage such as ours. First, of course, comes our dignity and authority as queen and consort. Then our duty to one another as man and wife, to cherish and comfort one another. Concerning this, no man could ask for more affection and tenderness.
Yet there is a third obligation, you say.
Oh, believe me, there is. It is that part of our life that concerns neither the obligations of state nor the giving and receiving of human love. It is here that we are drifting, Victoria. And if we lose touch one with the other, we can embitter our entire future.
I am stupid, Albert, and when I am alone with you, I am very much aware of my stupidity. It pains me that I cannot understand where I am at fault.
You have failed to recognize in me, your husband, a man of taste and intelligence, with possibilities in excess of those demanded by a guessing game played around the table.
Very well, Albert. We will abandon that particular game. Tomorrow evening, we will have a little music after dinner. And then I will ask Leighton to organize a spelling bee.
Mein Gott!
Albert, really, you must not shout at me in that manner.
Force me to shout. You will not open your mind to what I'm trying to say. Is there no more to marriage than a show of graciousness and dignity in public and ceaseless demonstrations of physical affection in private? Are we to spend all that part of our lives outside the throne room and bedchamber, quizzing one another on the relative merits of one pile of ruins or another?
Albert, I command you.
This album. For me, it has become a lexicon of penance, madam, when I think of the vast profit we might derive from these wasted hours. I see this room full of men of intellect and imagination. Writers, reformers, educationalists, inventors, painters, musicians. The best that Europe can offer. We have the key to this world, but you will not use it. You prefer instead this soporific.
Be so good as to pick up that album and to place it on the table where you found it.
I shall not. The servants may remove it with the other rubbish in the morning. Pray God they use it to light the fire.
Oh. I should never have believed it possible that you could have behaved so boorishly. I shall retire now, and you may remain here and reflect upon your conduct. I shall not sleep until you come to me and tell me how truly sorry you are.
I can bear no more. This situation, it is impossible.
Several members of the household are already asleep, Albert.
Indeed, yes. I had forgotten the time.
Well, that does not mean that you cannot play if you wish. It is our home, not theirs.
That would be very inconsiderate on my part. As you're aware, I've already taken my rest.
Those people you spoke to me about, the writers and inventors, are they men of rank? Are they already at court?
I have the list of their names here in my diary.
Show me. Thank you, Albert.
Every name noted down would enrich the princely houses of Europe, but few of them are seen at any court.
I remember just now, my royal grandfather once invited Mr. Gibbon, the author, here to Windsor. Mr. Gibbon was much pleased and inscribed a copy of his book to my grandfather. It was The Decline and Fall of the Roman Empire. It is still in the library, I understand.
I must read it. It is a very controversial work, I'm told.
Oh, Albert. Albert.
Oh, my dear. Oh, do not distress yourself so.
But I'm wretched. I came back to order you to stop playing, but when I saw you sitting there, looking so like the first time you played to Ernst and to me, all anger went from me. Albert, I cannot endure to quarrel with you. Promise me we shall never quarrel again.
That would be to pledge you that it will never rain, never thunder. Quarreling is part of love, Weibchen. We have Schiller's word for it. Ach, dass sie ewig grünen bliebe, die schöne Zeit der ersten Liebe. How's your German tonight?
Dass sie ewig grünen bliebe, die schöne Zeit der ersten Liebe. Oh, me, that love's delicious time.
Might keep the freshness of its prime.
It will. It must. And to prove it, here is your list of guests. You may invite whom you please, when you please. Anson shall write to every one of them tomorrow.
I did not intend that they should descend upon us in cohorts, my dear.
Then we shall make out a roster. We shall have the painters one evening, the inventors the next evening, and so on until the list is exhausted. Then we shall start again at the beginning.
Oh, you're very good to me. Always you're good to me, Weibchen. Oh, come, it is late. The entire household is asleep.
Albert. My dearest Albert.
Baroness?
I expected to find Baron Stockmar with you.
He will be joining me here in a few moments.
Before the review is over?
His Highness the Prince Consort has an appointment with Baron Stockmar when his regiment has been dismissed.
I see. You realize that Baron Stockmar has not yet paid his respect to Her Majesty?
The Baron did not arrive until after Her Majesty had retired last night, Baroness.
So? But it is now almost noon.
I understood from His Highness that Her Majesty was eager to witness the review.
She is watching it now. His Highness' own regiment, the 11th Hussars, make a very fine show, do they not? But perhaps you are not interested in military matters.
I already have more than enough to keep me occupied, Baroness.
Then pray do not allow me to disturb you. I can see everything splendidly from this window.
Baroness.
Yes, Mr. Anson?
Baron. We are not alone.
I see. This is an unexpected pleasure, Baroness. You have been watching His Highness take the salute?
Her Majesty also. She had a number of engagements this morning, but when I informed her that His Highness was reviewing his regiment of hussars, she cancelled them all.
Naturally. The Prince has a great deal of panache on these occasions. But this is not the best vantage point, Baroness. From first-story windows further east, you can look down upon the entire forecourt.
I did not come here for the purpose of watching the review, Baron. I am here to convey Her Majesty's command.
I await this with great respect, madame.
Her Majesty is pleased to inform you that the Queen and His Highness will receive you as soon as the review is over.
Her Majesty is very generous. Perhaps you will inform Her Majesty that I should be pleased to wait upon her and convey greetings from her royal uncle, that Her Majesties in Brussels are in excellent health, and trust that she is equally so. And now, my dear Baroness, I have certain letters of great urgency to dictate, and they must be copied by Mr. Anson before the Dover courier leaves.
In that case, then...
I'm sure you will understand. I shall have the pleasure of meeting you again this evening.
Of that, Baron, you may be very sure.
I'm grateful for your intervention, Baron. I had express instructions from His Highness that he was to see you in private before you were received by Her Majesty.
Well, that was my wish also, Mr. Anson. From the lady's anxiety to watch a review from a bad vantage point, I can only assume that she entertained hopes of sharing our confidence. But perhaps I misjudge her. The Prince would have dismissed her, no doubt.
I do not think His Highness would have disposed of the Baroness so expeditiously.
You mean that His Highness is still wanting in firmness as regards his dealing with the Baroness? Well?
None of us here, least of all His Highness, is under any misapprehension as to the extent of Baroness Letson's influence with Her Majesty, sir.
You're an observant man, Mr. Anson. Also, I see you are extremely loyal and dependable.
Thank you, sir. You would like my report before His Highness is present?
In brief, if you please, Mr. Anson.
I have seen Sir Robert Peel in private on 3 occasions.
Good. And His Highness has been in personal touch with the leader of the former opposition?
There have already been 2 private meetings between His Highness and Sir Robert.
Thank you, Mr. Anson. It is now on the stroke of noon. The review ended 5 minutes ago, and His Highness will be coming here straight from the saluting point. I shall meet my Prince in precisely 60 seconds.
I was instructed to pass that information to you the moment I met you, Baron. I see now that it is seldom necessary to give you information on anything at all.
We have our sources, Anson. We have our sources.
You wish me to take notes of the interview?
That was my intention. But in view of the observation I forced from you, I have changed my mind. You understand the implication I touched?
Yes, sir. My remark, sir, regarding the Baroness Leitzen, I would take it as a great favor if...
You are surprised at the extent of my private information, Mr. Anson. I need hardly tell you, the sources at my disposal would soon be dry if I failed to respect every confidence extended to me.
Yes, sir. Naturally. In that case, then, I will get on with my work in the next room.
Oh, Mr. Anson, I really believe he is afraid of me.
His Royal Highness, the Prince...
You're excused. My friend. My old friend. You've been home, hmm? You have news of Ernst, of Grandmama. You've been to Rosenau? Oh, come, you must tell me everything.
I can speak of your home in Her Majesty's presence, Your Highness.
You have other news? Bad news?
Your Highness, at the most we have 10 minutes before it is known that we are alone together. Leitzen was here when I arrived to keep my appointment with Anson.
Is that remarkable?
No, Your Highness, but I can assure you it was premeditated.
But I wrote to you of Leitzen. Our relationship has improved immeasurably. I wrote telling you that I had asserted myself in the matter of our leisure hours, and that Her Majesty has been pleased to indulge my every wish as regards dinner guests. And there's another matter of which you're unaware. The Queen has agreed to the changes in our household when the new ministry takes office.
Yes, this I knew.
Anson has told you of my part in bringing this about.
Anson confirmed what I already knew as regards Your Highness' exercise in diplomacy. Domestic diplomacy, Your Highness.
You're not pleased.
It is the beginning.
The beginning?
Well, it was a good beginning, as indeed was your victory in the matter of banishing round-table games after dinner. Let us hope that these skirmishes will prepare you for the major encounter.
You say we shall have but a few moments alone.
Unless I am gravely mistaken, Her Majesty will walk through those doors in less than 5 minutes, and Leitzen will accompany her.
If I did not know that your motives were commendable, I could find it in me to tell you that you were presumptuous.
For that, Your Highness, I must not shrink from saying what I feel it necessary to say.
In respect of what, sir?
In respect of Her Majesty's determination to pursue a policy that may bring her throne and yourself into public contempt.
But that is an insult. Whatever you may suppose, I am not hedged around by spies. Neither am I the gilded figurehead I was when I last sought your advice in this room more than a year ago. The advice you gave me then, I acted upon. You must give me credit for something, Baron Stockmar. For growing a little, perhaps. Huh?
You have grown a little, my prince, but not fast enough, not tall enough to grapple with the present situation.
You make light of what I have achieved?
Because you have failed to maintain the offensive. To fail when there was men of learning, to persuade duchesses to resign, to establish a civil relationship with Peel, these things are victories of a sort. But sovereignty continues to elude you.
Sovereignty? The Queen's sovereignty? That's just as I thought. You do not understand the difficulties of my situation. When last we spoke of these matters, I implied that Her Majesty was trivial, pleasure-seeking, and wholly unconcerned with matters of state.
I pointed out that her great love for you would enable you to mold her mind.
But what I said was not the truth. Outwardly, Her Majesty would have everyone believe she cares for nothing but social, time-wasting pursuits. Yet underneath is a being who is more jealous of her sovereignty than any monarch in history.
Then you are at least aware of the fact.
Of her determination to exercise absolute power, as she herself conceives her role as sovereign?
By heaven, no, Your Highness. As it is conceived by Lord Melbourne, leader of a discredited party, and to a lesser degree by her ex-governess, Leitzen. The Queen no longer stands between you and your destiny. You won that battle long ago by your personal charm and ardor as lover and husband. But Leitzen is still proof against you. And also Melbourne, to whom the Queen continues to write for advice on every major matter of policy that is laid before her.
That cannot be so.
Then challenge her. And when you have proved it so, act. What does it profit Peel or any other minister to gain office if Her Majesty takes counsel from an ex-governess and her orders from a man who is terrified of the 19th century?
Her Majesty the Queen, Lady Littleton, the Baroness Leitzen.
Your Majesty.
We should scold you severely, Baron Stockmar. And you too, Your Highness, for had it not been for Latson's remark that you were already in Windsor, we should have waited all day for news of Uncle, of brother-in-law Duke Ernst, and for the letters that repose in your portmanteau.
Your Majesty, I was hoping to present them at the audience you have graciously granted this afternoon.
You must not think I am displeased that you should come here straight from your carriage to embrace the prince. We are aware that your greatest happiness is to talk with him, and that he, for his part, has you never out of his mind. Is that not so, Your Highness?
It is always a very great pleasure to confer with Baron Stockmar.
You were in time to witness the final march past by the light cavalry, Baron Stockmar?
I was indeed, ma'am, and I found it most impressive.
You realize the regiment was His Highness' own, the 11th Hussars. And does he not sit a horse splendidly?
His Highness has always excelled in manly outdoor pursuits, Your Majesty.
Yet he did not practice them to the neglect of his studies. His Highness can converse upon almost any subject.
Baron Stockmar is aware of such accomplishments as I possess, Your Majesty.
And he is modest, too, you perceive. Oh, but it is thoughtless of us to detain you after what must have been a long and tedious journey. Touch the bell, Lady Littleton.
Yes, ma'am.
You have our permission to retire, Baron, and we shall expect you at our drawing room after you have rested and eaten luncheon.
You rang, my lady?
Yes, Bates. You will conduct Baron Stockmar to the Lord Steward and inform him that Her Majesty wishes the Baron to be served with luncheon in his suite.
My lady.
Your Majesty is most gracious.
I shall remain here until luncheon is served. But I believe you, Latson, have urgent correspondence to attend to and are therefore excused. You too, Lady Littleton. I should be glad if you would make quite certain that the Lord Steward is in personal attendance upon Baron Stockmar. He is getting on in years and must be excessively tired after his long journey.
Your Majesty. Your Majesty.
Oh, did I not manage that very skillfully, dearest? Do you suppose either of them imagined I wanted so much to be alone with you for a few moments? To tell you how proud I was of you this morning?
Our Majesty is most kind.
Oh, you are tired, my angel. You were afoot soon after 6 this morning, and you did not allow yourself more than a bare 15 minutes over breakfast before you dressed for the review. You must not drive yourself so ruthlessly. I shall speak to Anson about it. Now, come. Sit down by me. There. And let me loosen that gorget. Raise your chin. Albert, you look troubled. Bad news?
No.
But you are plainly upset.
I am very wretched, Victoria. But it is not on account of Uncle Leopold's earnest endeavors to rule Britain from Brussels.
There is something you wish to tell me.
You were to receive Stockmar at 4 this afternoon. That was the command passed to Anson by Litzen. Yet Stockmar told me you would come through that door within 5 minutes of my meeting him here. His estimate was accurate. Both you and Litzen were here within 7 minutes of dismissal on the parade ground.
I came as soon as I learned that Baron Stockmar had arrived.
Litzen told you he was here?
Yes.
Closeted with me?
Am I to be scolded for interrupting your tete-a-tete? Oh, come, Albert, you are making yourself ridiculous.
No, madam. This time it is not I who caught the ridicule.
I do not care for this mood of yours. I will leave you to recover your good humor.
We had best take this opportunity of confiding in one another. Please do not go, Your Majesty.
I will not tolerate you addressing me in that manner when we are alone. You only do so to provoke me when you're in one of your childishly stupid moods. You will address me by name, Albert. Now, sir, what is behind this exhibition of pique? Why should you resent my wish to share your confidence with Stockmar?
Because it was clearly a conspiratorial act, Victoria.
Conspiratorial?
On Latzen's part, and by inference, on your part also. But there's something of infinitely greater importance that I wish to discuss with you.
Indeed. What is it?
I think you should know that within the last few days, I've had 2 private meetings with Sir Robert Peel.
With Peel? You received that man into our house?
No, I called upon him at the House of Commons.
Without a word to me? Without consulting me as your wife or sovereign?
You would have gone to any length to prevent it.
Indeed I would. And why not in heaven's name when he has been the author of all our principal difficulties?
All that is behind us, Victoria.
In time it is behind us. But do you imagine I can put it out of mind because it occurred a year ago or 10 years ago? Do you think I can ever tolerate Peel after all he has done to us?
You have no choice but to tolerate him. He is now leader of your government, and as a constitutional sovereign, you are obliged to accept the people's verdict.
Has Stockmar put this treason into your mind?
No, he has not. This treason, as you call it, is the product of a careful study of...
It would be cruel to deny him the task he loves.
You've done this out of compassion for Melbourne?
Not only from compassion. Perhaps because I felt there was no one who truly understood.
So. Then it would seem that I have failed. Let us end this discussion, Weibchen. No good can come of it if what you say comes from your heart.
No, Angel, no. You are not involved in this. You are someone apart.
No, Weibchen. That was not our marriage contract as I understood it.
But it is, so it is. You are my husband, my beloved and respected husband. But you are not English, and there are many things that for all your cleverness and application, you can never learn of England. You've tried very hard, and sometimes it has made my heart ache to watch you. But what you are attempting to do is not possible, not even for you. Oh, if only I could make you understand these things.
What things?
The English heart, Albert. Oh, no, not mine, for that you have and will always have. But that of a man like Melbourne, steeped in the English past.
The past? Always the past. No, God in Himmel, I'm not concerned with your country's past, Victoria.
But to understand England...
It's the present and future that I would take a part in shaping. You are queen. Queen, you say. But what do you or your beloved Leitzen know of this country's present? You cast a broad-bellied idol, wreath it in green, sit it astride a Shire horse, and call it England. You put a laurel wreath on its head, and in its fist you thrust a faded standard emblazoned with the battle honours of half-forgotten wars, and call it John Bull, the steadfast, the forthright, the god of merry England and cricket on the green. But that is not your realm, madam. There's a different England under your fee. A dirty, smoke-grimed giant groaning in his sleep, who sprawls across your ugly new towns, loaded with the fetters of ignorance, laziness, greed, and tradition. Shall I tell you of what he dreams? This huge, helpless Prometheus? He dreams of unjust wars in China and Afghanistan, of wheat at 70 shillings a quarter, of the children of the poor working naked in the mines and falling asleep into machines in your manufactories. And he groans aloud because a nation that is equipped to lead the whole world into the light is teetering on the edge of bankruptcy. Because in 1 year, more than 7 millions have been dispersed in poor relief, and because out of every 11 of your Majesty's subjects, 1 lives and dies a pauper. Now, if this is your England, and you are satisfied with it, then let me depart. Let me return to Rosenau, where I was happy, and let my part in our marriage be limited to the fathering of princes who are to inherit this sham paradise.
You would leave here? Turn your back on me?
I would spend as little time as possible here. For what is there here that I cannot do better in Coburg? A little gardening, a little hunting, and that among people who smile at me. Who are you summoning?
Leitzen.
Leitzen, always Leitzen. I'm not in a mood for Leitzen, madam.
Albert, you must stay, I beg of you.
Your Majesty?
Baroness Leitzen is in the small study. Inform her that her presence is required at once, and she may bring her work with her.
Your Majesty?
I've had my say. I do not intend to inflict upon myself the humiliation of witnessing the spectacle of Leitzen engaged in state business.
Nevertheless, you shall stay for 5 minutes more. Then, if you wish, you may pack for your beloved Rosenau. And I will issue an announcement that you are to take a holiday.
Your Majesty's command?
Ah, yes, Leitzen. It was to satisfy myself on various matters we have been discussing with His Highness. You recollect that we are credited with possessing an excellent memory, but it was never at any time equal to yours, dear Leitzen. Do you happen to know the current price of wheat?
Wheat, Your Majesty?
Wheat per quarter.
I do not know, Your Majesty. I do not recollect that I ever did know, but I have no doubt if Your Majesty gave me an opportunity to inquire...
Oh, come, Leitzen. I was confident that you would have such a thing at your fingertips. The question arose when we were discussing the cost of bread in relation to the activities of the Anti-Corn Law League. Could you tell His Highness, for instance, how much public money was expended upon poor law relief last year? Or what proportion of our subjects live and die as paupers?
Forgive me, Your Majesty, but I...
Oh, Leitzen, I see that you cannot. But I can. The gross figure is a little over 7 millions, and the ratio of paupers 1 in 11, or a little over 9% of the population. Is it not shameful? Does it not go a long way to explaining the unrest in our centres of industry?
Look, Your Majesty summoned me in order to solicit information regarding these matters?
Oh, no. It was another matter altogether. It was to tell you I had had second thoughts regarding the letter we had decided to dispatch to Lord Melbourne by today's courier.
I had not yet finished copying that letter, Your Majesty. You recollect it was only this morning...
But you have our draft, have you not?
Yes, Your Majesty, I have the draft.
Then you had better return it to me. And destroy that portion of it you have already copied.
I brought it with me, Your Majesty. Here it is.
Ah, yes. No, Albert, one cannot be too careful in these matters. The name of Lord Heytesbury was suggested to me as our minister at the court of Vienna, and I was writing to signify my wholehearted approval of the suggestion. However, since there is no cause for urgency...
Your Majesty has no further instructions regarding a reply to Lord Melbourne's letter?
I shall attend to it later. This evening, perhaps, when Mr. Anson is in attendance. You are excused, Leighton.
Your Majesty.
She will never forgive you.
Oh, she will forgive me. When she is at home and alone with her memories. She will have portraits of me all over the house. And when visitors call upon her, she will point to one of them and say, I had charge of the Queen of England. Until she grew up.
Why? That is what I shall never cease to ask myself. Why?
Why, Albert, dearest? It is why. A round sound with the lips. Oh, it is curious. You speak English perfectly, but for that single defect. And when you are emphatic, out it clips, and you are a German again.
Do you know what Stockmar told me about English women when he was chiding me for my gaucherie?
Mm-hmm.
He said English women were predictable. That if I learned to retreat into etiquette when I was in their company, I would never fall into error.
Stockmar's life has been lived among men, Angel. It was not wise of him to attempt to teach you about women.
Lord Heytesbury is an excellent choice for that post. It would be wise, I think, to confirm it.
Then confirmation shall be the first act in your new role, Albert.
I am to have a role?
Why, certainly. That of confidential secretary to the Queen.
You must learn not to act so readily upon impulse, my dear.
That is not an impulse. I shall never be clever, Albert. But it is not necessary to be clever to recognize merit when one is honestly served by instinct. Not for a woman who sees no shame in admitting that she is in love with her husband. Oh, yes, I know what you are thinking. That this is a peace offering. That I yield to you in the sense that I yielded regarding our social life. But you are mistaken, Albert. And it is vital that you should understand this at once. I am not a clever person. But this I do know. That it is right to allow conscience to shape one's decisions. And that you are still wiser than anyone about me. What is more, you are resolved to use that wisdom selflessly. It is because I am so certain of this that I am ready to surrender Leighton and Melbourne and commit myself and realm to your judgment.
You will be permitted to do this?
Permitted? I am queen, am I not?
Yes, you are queen. And the man to whom you turn for advice is a German princeling whose country is not as big as one of your counties, who is just 22 years of age, and who is, as yet, pitifully unsure of himself.
Is that the total sum of your misgivings?
It is sufficient to bring us both into disrepute.
No, it is not nearly sufficient, oh, Albert. For you have the wisdom and I have the authority. And between us we shall keep the secret more securely than I have kept it with Melbourne these 4 years. For we have no need of telltale letters, of couriers and go-betweens. We have free access to one another, and all our decisions can be arrived at in private.
We may not always make the right decisions.
I think we will make more than have been made in the past, Albert. We shall begin now, as soon as luncheon is eaten. We shall retire to the small study and sit side by side with a dispatch box between us. I shall pass each document to you, and you shall make marginal notes, and I will write them down in my own hand, so that historians 100 years hence will say, this goose of a queen had the wisdom of Solomon.
We shall do all this, liebes Frauchen. But not at once, not today. Today you shall cancel all appointments.
Today, the seals of the dispatch boxes shall not be broken. You will give orders for the cabriolet, but the coachman shall have a holiday. I will be coachman for once and leave the escort behind the hill. Then, when there is no loyal citizen about us to lift his hat and shout, God bless your majesty, I will take your hand thus and pledge it thus. And you will understand at last all I've been saying to you in the past. Take this man and use him. His loyalty, his service, his love.
Albert, my dearest angel.
In My Dearest Angel by R.F. Delderfield, adapted for radio by Cynthia Pugh, the part of Queen Victoria was played by Barbara Lee Hunt, and that of Prince Albert by Andrew Sachs. The rest of the cast was as follows: Baroness Leighton, Gladys Spencer; Baron Stockmar, Eric Anderson; George Anson, Robin Lloyd; Viscount Melbourne, John Wise; Lady Littleton, Polly Murch; Prince Ernst, Gabriel Wolfe; Bates, Bruce Condell; Schilling, Valerie Kirkbright. Production, which was recorded, was by Norman Wright.